Thank you.
Yes.
Every tree that doesn't have flowers or leaves on it right now, what's going on?
We're gonna go live right on you.
My, I'm welcome to my allergy.
My little humble brag.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was trying to learn how to like ID different tree species, like using the tree map. And it led me to find out, to realize like a bunch of trees on my street were diseased. And I reported all the new parks, they just came through. They're planting trees. The whole.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's like they're adding trees where there weren't ones before.
yeah.
Good evening to everybody, on Zoom and on YouTube. We're live on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay. This is the Queens Community Board 2 Transportation Committee. I might give it another minute, see if anybody else joins. Welcome. We're free, we're getting changed.
The parks is now doing like free plantings by the borough.
Yeah,
So we'll get trees now, but then you don't expect it for like.
I know. Now I can't even request it, like.
Yeah.
I can request it.
So I was basically just like reporting a bunch of like diseased or dead trees.
Hmm.
And, you know, they removed all the ones I reported, and I was like, well, damn, now I don't even have the dead one.
Yeah.
And I guess like, I don't know, it's planting season. And
Yeah,
they must have been like, all right, we got a lot of reports. I don't know, you know, maybe I'm assuming too much, but like,
Yeah,
I walked
no.
by and they had like sprayed out like new pits, and they're like, we're adding trees. And I was like,
Oh, that's awesome.
are you telling me advocacy gets the goods?
Wow.
Is that what I'm learning here?
Well, that's the one thing that park really takes seriously is disease trees.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hmm.
You gotta kill some trees.
Joe, you're on the internet right now.
park takes a lot of things.
We love our partners in parks.
yeah.
But they take disease trees seriously. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you make it to Julie's town hall? It was really funny. She's like, so we had a Q&A plan, but I think I thought it was really cool. But they're like, I think, you know, people are feeling a lot of feelings. Let's just hear everyone out. What are you guys thinking? How you feeling?
Oh, yeah.
It's really refreshing.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it is very open and refreshing. Whatever comes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. Thank you so much again. This is Queens Community Board 2 Transportation Committee monthly meeting. I am Riley Owens, chair of this committee. I'm joined by many committee members here and online. I see some people. I know Teresa is from Julie Long's office. Thank you so much for observing and being here, and thank you very much. I'm joined also by Joe Patty from the New York City DOT. So if you have any questions, any public comment, DOT is present, so appreciate that. We will get started at the beginning here, not at the end. We'll get started at the beginning with public comment. If anybody is signed up for public comment online, just raise a hand. I think we have somebody in the room. Henry?
Yeah. You want the first or?
No.
Start with me?
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I wanted to bring a couple of topics to your attention. So yeah, I'm Henry Smith with the Long Island City Partnership, Long Island City Business Improvement District. We, provide supplemental sanitation to our business improvement district boundaries, as well as business assistance to kind of the Long Island City as a whole, and part of that is advocacy. And one topic we've been getting a lot of complaints about are the rider trucks in the 43rd Road, 44th Road, 44th Drive, 43rd Road section, kind of like 21st Street, 9th Street, 10th Street. There's a lot of them. And just last Friday, we counted 35 rider trucks in like they have their own property, but oftentimes they park in parking spaces for extended periods of time. This has been, 5 years plus. We've been hearing about this issue. We've been, reporting really closely, working with NYPD and DOT about it as well. But just trying to get enforcement as much as we can, but you kind of run into some roadblocks about like, there's only so much enforcement we can do. They can't tow the big trucks. They can write tickets, but that's like a business expense for Ryder. And not, that traction is kind of slowed down. They've had a period where they towed some of their smaller vehicles, and then that, was helpful, but they just take up so much space, so many parking lots, and don't move and just rearrange. And then, some of the business owners went to CBS themselves. There was a story about in March, a couple weeks, CBS came out and talked to two business owners about it. And we're kind of want to continue that momentum. And we wrote a letter to the mayor's office of operations, and then CCing DOT and NYPD, because we just think it's an issue that's, too large for our local agency partners, and want to get as many services, or as much service as we can to help address this. That's really causing problems for the neighborhood, the businesses and employees. And and so I'm just kind of here to talk to you all about that and ask for your letter of support, or to join our letter that we have written. I think that would be really awesome to just coordinate on this.
Sure, yeah, thank you. Are these streets marked at all? Are they street cleaning and?
Yeah, so some of them are, parking zones, fire hydrants that they park in front of, but there's also quite a few of them that aren't, and they just kind of move around, and NYPD won't ticket the ones that aren't parked in front of like the signs. So that's definitely something that we want to explore with Joe, and try to, change some of the street signage where it makes the most amount of sense, and to prevent that overnight and weekly and monthly and couple months long parking.
They have commercial plates, they're commercial
Yeah.
plates, right? So they can't park overnight on the street.
No,
That's.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, we've tried that avenue with NYPD. They've done a bunch of different rounds and have been, very responsive and understand that this is such a problem, but I think just running into capacity issues, and
Yeah,
there's other issues in that area related to vehicles, I think, but for us right now, we want to just kind of focus and target this Ryder truck issue because it's taking up the most amount of parking spots relative to, some of the other ones. And so we're writing the letters to the mayor's office of operations, I think I said, but
it's definitely something that we've talked about in this committee before. It's a years long problem. Are they parking on the sidewalk as well, or just on the streets?
half on the side, like just parked poorly, I guess, not on the sidewalk. Some of them are in the loading zones that are really key for businesses to, during their operations to load and unload, specifically.
Sure, we'll talk about it here and talk about it with Joe and see what the solutions are. A lot of times.
It's tough. It's a tough issue to.
It's tough. If they can't ticket and they can't tow, and it's.
And we spoke with NYPD and we're like, is there any elevated ticket or something or summons? And they were just like, no, it's like the 150 parking ticket. That's it.
Yeah.
And but so I want to, explore options to talk with Ryder, and then NYPD has met with Ryder Truck numerous times. All the way last summer, they said they were gonna lease out a parking lot and, get their own actual space. That never happened. Just a loose back and forth and.
Okay, all right. I know you have other things you want to talk about. I'll give you time because we have some time right now. Teresa, you have your hand up. Do you want to comment?
Yeah, just to add to this Ryder truck issue, because Henry and I, we have had conversations about this as well, and I have independently spoken with NYPD myself regarding what happens with
one's office.
Yeah, I work for representing Councilmember Wan's office, and the issue is that there really is like one tow truck that's even physically capable of moving these trucks, and with the tickets not being so low in comparison and spotty enforcement, there is no financial incentive for them uh to get this new parking spot for the new lot for them. And it has been a persistent issue that multiple constituents have reached out to our office about, and it's causing a disproportionate amount of stress for people in that neighborhood, as other commercial businesses who would be using their parking in a responsible way, and then also residents who then get pushed out. So it's sort of like a cascading negative loop where it starts with these gigantic trucks from this international trucking company, and then filtering down until residents and small businesses aren't able to live their daily lives and operate their businesses because of it.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very-
I'll bring it. I'll jump back in for another topic. So because I'm sure Henry has like a whole list of things that we've previously talked about.
Later.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any solutions.
Yeah.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Henry.
Yeah, so I know it's pothole season and resurfacing season, and yeah, thanks, Joe. I think there's a large handful of potholes that have been addressed that we've been reporting, but we do have a handful of them, and I just want to highlight a more difficult one on 9th Street and 43rd, 44th Road. Sorry, it's an industrial block, lots of trucks, but the street gets flooded every time it rains. And you can see like the road is now like broken up, and there is now a draining system, what's it called? Sorry, a catch basin or a grate that kind of got discovered. I don't know, it wasn't there previously, it was weird, but it's just a situation we've been monitoring. We've, reported it to DOT, DEP, and it's the whole street width that gets flooded, and it's a massive, massive puddle every time it rains. And I know like the repaving is not meant for flood mitigation, but the cobblestone street is also really messed up. And I think would be great. And this is just probably one of the worst areas of flooding in terms of just the volume of water and how long it takes for the water to like leave the street.
It's supposed to be cobblestone or the pavement just?
I think it was cobblestone under and
Yeah.
then above. Yeah, I have
What's the location?
9th Street and 44th Avenue. I have another picture on my phone. It's also, I think, recent from the rain over the weekend. Oof. Well, I don't have it, but
Wow.
yeah, this is like after it rains, we go there. We're like, we gotta work on this one as best as we can.
I mean, that's in the one LAC
That's the
rezone.
one LIC
Yeah.
rezoning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, so the Ryder trucks is close to it as well, but it's, very, one of the more industrial blocks for sure. Oh yeah, that's just been something we've been trying to tackle, and yeah, I think it may, because also the water, there's the catch basin, but it doesn't seem like the water's flowing down it as well, or it's really slow. So we're just really confused about what's going on. But yeah, I would love kind of to work together and resolving that. And yeah, like you said, one LIC, so yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to take advantage of the process there to do something more long term.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to keep coming to Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, I will say that, whenever there is new development, like for a new building, they are required to reconstruct both the sidewalk and half of the street plus 5 feet additional to that of the width. So, in terms of long-term solutions, that is likely what will be
yeah,
like a full reconstruction of those cobblestones there. I mean, in the meantime, we could definitely I'm just like looking at the street now and it looks like it's all bare.
Yeah.
cobblestone. I'm not even sure if it's supposed to be have an asphalt overlay on it or not. So I'd have to look into that to see what's going on with the drainage there.
Okay. Yeah, and it's very close to like more of the residential or retail areas of LIC as well, like it's 1 block from Vernon and it just doesn't work. It's pretty bad. And there's a Fort Drive is close by and a bunch of other things. Yeah, and then the last note, I know that, you know, the Queens Bus redesign recently happened and a couple, actually, someone who works in my building and we were in the JetBlue building, 2701 Queens Plaza North. And she rides the bus home at like midnight and she's been working in the neighborhood for a very long time and just brought it up to me that the B62 switched from going to Jackson Avenue, running along now it's all on 21st Street, north and south. And before it went along Jackson Avenue, so that one allowed her to, and allowed a lot of people to just get out from the subway, from all the subways in Queens Plaza and just go directly to that bus station. And she rides the bus overnight as well. And she tells me a couple scary stories about, you know, walking and feeling unsafe. And then she has to, you know, walk 15 minutes to 21st Street, Queensbridge. I have a map of the bus, if that would be
Yeah.
helpful.
Thank you.
And you can see like where the dotted line where it was switched. But yeah, and it also, she gets off at like 12:05, so also some just those specific bus timing issues that I just do you know if MTA is still, I know opening their survey and this like slight timing issue would be something to consider. And she says the buses are not running on time
Yeah,
or being there, so yeah, I just wanted to address that and kind of, I think it's a lot of people, you know, this is a 24/7 district. People, you know, there it's, you know, maintenance people in buildings or, you know, factory warehouse workers or taxi cab drivers, they're, you know, at all times, people are operating here and yeah, would love to find a kind of a solution to
You know,
with them.
is the service worse than before, or it's just not on time according to the schedule?
I mean, she's saying yes, it's worse before, worse than before. I think,
I mean, it makes sense, they doubled the length of the route, so.
yeah, I mean, I see like, you can see it's just to go down 21st Street for the like quickness
Mhm.
and to make the route faster. I totally see that, I think. Yeah.
Well, it looks like it used to terminate at Jackson, right? But now they want to extend it into Astoria.
Oh, is that
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So,
discontinued service?
so I think they're trying to reroute it onto the 21st Street bus lane to
Mhm.
get people from Astoria down to Williamsburg.
Yeah. I see, yeah, so I don't know if like maybe MTA would be open, just changing the time of when the bus comes. Because it's every 30 or 45 minutes, so if you miss the bus,
Yeah.
maybe more frequency.
Yeah.
Cause if you miss it, you're there at 1 AM,
Yeah,
yeah, which she tells, yeah, it's hard. She's.
yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to bring that.
Okay, no, I appreciate it. I'll look into the bus. It's hard to get it all in my head.
For sure,
All the bus changes.
yeah.
There's still Brooklyn changes planned for all their routes too, so
Hmm. Oh, yeah, they can still,
they didn't change anything on the Brooklyn side of that route.
and it's a B62, so that may have some changes.
But so she'd be open to like, you know, ideally, she just wants it to come back to Jackson.
Exactly.
But like, if that can't happen, then at least improving the frequency will. stay, right?
Yeah, or the timing, yeah,
Oh, like same frequency, but just on a different
I think,
block.
yeah,
Interesting.
whatever they can, whatever is possible.
What's the transfer she has to make?
Well, so it's like the Q101 goes down, I guess, Queens Plaza north. And instead of making that like 15 or 20 minute walk, or even, yeah, longer, and again, just like at midnight,
Yeah.
just the feeling, yeah, not as safe and waiting,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'll look into that. Teresa, you have your hand up again for this issue?
For this issue,
Or just-
it's sort of just issues in a big issue that I wanted to discuss in general was regarding that incident that occurred in Woodside at a 60, I believe 62nd Street and Roosevelt, regarding the young woman who was tragically struck by the commercial carting truck, and just sort of road safety in general, and lighting, which is something that we need to prioritize throughout the neighborhood, including the LIC IBZ zone, if Henry, if that's on your list. We've
Yeah.
talked about that previously as well, but
Okay, yeah, let me
Just-
say thank you to Henry for those comments. It sounds like you might have some more.
Yeah.
And yeah, please, let's talk about that, Teresa. I want to make sure we talk about it.
yeah, I mean, if you want to reply back, I just had my hand up, but I can lower it back down for now and then just revisit
Oh, no, it's all
in a
right.
couple minutes.
How do you feel, Henry?
I mean, the lighting, we have, I think, 10 lighting requests for open, that, I'm trying to work with Joe, and he's told me about the process of lighting is long and extensive. But, one of which is under the 21st Street Bridge between 40 Hunters Point and 51st Avenue. There's a lot of businesses there, again, 24/7. The big movie studio on Borden, a lot of those employees walk over the bridge, and it's just like, it's pretty pitch black. Yeah, and the cases, I think, have been accepted, but we're waiting for the contract to move forward. But anything we can do to kind of urge that process along, because yeah, we've submitted those cases, I think, 3 years ago. So along Skillman, 49th Avenue, 25th Street, a lot in the IBC region, where now the employees are back from COVID and businesses are moving in, and and again, they're 24/7, so want to, especially during the winter time, have the streets lit.
Yeah, there are several schools in that area as well, including like Robert F. Wagner and LaGuardia, and just like there's schools in that area as well.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Henry, will you send me a list of all the lighting?
For sure.
Send me an email, just so we can keep that up. But thank you so much. Teresa, we're gonna open up to you now.
Yeah. So again, public street safety in regards to being able to have the streets to be a place that people can cross regardless of time of night, right? So this incident occurred probably around 11, 12 a.m. And one of the reasons why she was not able to be seen, low lighting, lack of lighting, contributed to that. Also, various like construction projects that were decreasing sight lines. So a lot of constituents are reaching out to us about public safety for our streets for this exact reason of being able to prevent tragedies like this, that if there were some minor changes or more substantial changes to these streets, that this wouldn't be anything that happened, but also acknowledging that the commercial carters need to be well trained and need to understand how to operate, vehicles that are that size, that aren't going to give you the same kind of sight lines as, a regular car or truck. So it's a complicated issue, but we need to prioritize making sure that our streets are safe for people to cross regardless of time of day.
Yeah, I agree. Have you heard any, I only saw the preliminary reports from that tragedy. Have you heard
Yeah,
any-
we're still waiting from NYPD to update us on additional information. What we know is basically what was reported that day. But that area has been a hotspot in general for our office, and requesting that there's additional lighting, and that this is a comment that happens at that exact location, but also just in the district in general, is construction sites having, whether they be city or private, but just decreasing that amount of clutter so that people can and as you know, our office is has been very, very passionate about universal daylighting and making sure that we're giving clearance to pedestrians when they cross and making the road safer.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the council member leading on daylighting, which the full board has voted in favor of. And yeah, I think a major problem at every intersection is cars parked right up to the crosswalk and into the crosswalk, which might have saved this woman's life. But I don't know all the details of the incident. I know that that spot is Roosevelt Avenue is very, very chaotic for automobiles, and it is very, very packed with pedestrians. It is a main commercial corridor, and I don't think the pedestrians are well served there, especially because it's in a 61st Street Woodside. This was 1 block away from a major train station, and so this committee has voted and made a resolution to completely redesign Roosevelt Avenue to accommodate cyclists, pedestrians, and limit automobile speeding and traffic because of the importance of it being a commercial corridor. As somebody who drives, I can say that it is a very, very chaotic drive. And for anybody driving a massive truck, they have to practice extreme caution. It was a tragedy, and you know, we're still waiting for reports from that. But thank you very much for mentioning it.
Thanks. Sorry, I'm actually outside crossing streets right now.
Be careful. And just for anybody who hasn't heard, a young woman was crossing the street on 62nd Street near Roosevelt Avenue around midnight, and she was hit by a commercial garbage truck completely. Yeah, just run over and died on the scene. And as I said again, it's a very, very busy place for pedestrians. Huge supermarkets on those corners.
Isn't there there's work being done to do like a regulatory structure around the private waste carts?
Yeah, I
right?
thought something had passed.
Yeah, but has it been implemented?
It's rolling out to different neighborhoods. It hasn't hit this neighborhood yet, but yeah, like there's only certain carriers can go in certain districts that DSNY made, and then so this store doesn't have a different carrier than the one right next to it to kind of make it more synchronized and
Limit the amount.
faster and limit the amount of trucks and make it just more makes sense and efficient.
Yeah, and you know, you live in the city long enough, you see how those private businesses drive a lot different from DSM.
Yeah.
You know, just like the private school bus drivers drive a lot different from MTA bus drivers. You know, it's just.
And yeah,
It does seem that it just emphasizes the need to roll this thing out quicker, right? Like it's putting people's lives at risk.
Teresa, did you have something else?
Not at this moment, but if I have a comment to continued conversation, I'll chime in.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Does anybody else have public comment? Maya?
Mute. Yeah, I have a small issue. I sent an email to Raphael. I don't know if he shared it already or not. It's regarding curb cuts on 50 by the firehouse on 51st Street going. Now our supermarket closed here, our local supermarket, and there is this Key Food where Rite Aid used to be by the office, near the office of community board. So going on my wheelchair, there is no curb cut on 51st Street by that triangle. There is a little park where they sit, and then you cross to the supermarket. So whenever I go there, I walk in the middle of the street with my wheelchair, and I want to, to bring up that issue so it can be fixed. So instead of going to the middle of the street, we can go straight to toward Roosevelt Avenue. There is no curb cut for wheelchairs
Yeah.
at that corner.
It's very interesting. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, it is, yeah, it's also a very, very busy place. Like every crossing should have a curb cut, but that's a very busy place coming right up.
Yeah.
Stations.
What's the specific corner again?
It's is it Northwest? I sent the email to Raphael with the little map. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Mhm.
It would,
I think Northwest, the
it
corner,
would-
yeah.
Program, I get told, for the reconstruction.
All right, yeah, Joe's gonna look at it. He got the email, so we'll,
Mhm.
and see if it's scheduled for reconstruction.
Okay. I mean, just to make it smooth to cross that way. The other side is okay, you know, but then you have to cross the street to go there. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It seems a very simple thing. We'll see if it takes.
Yeah, but it makes a big difference for wheelchair users, walkers,
Yeah,
baby carriages, yeah.
I also know that Triangle is a very bad spot for parking. People are often parked in the crosswalk
Yeah, they block the view.
lane. It's something I constantly notice since it's right around the corner from here.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah,
Very much. Thank you, Maya.
thank
Jonathan?
you, thank you.
Mhm. Jonathan Suarez?
Oh, hi, sorry. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, thank you.
Turning on my camera now. Hey, excuse my appearance. I just finished biking home, but just wanted to follow up, I guess, on my comment from last month. Just really quick. I know that, or I think that the board had, or the transportation committee had mentioned that there were some hardening infrastructure that might be coming to the southern tip of the Hunters Point South area, around Center Boulevard, 57th Avenue, that area, Second Street. So I just wanted to know, since we have DOT here, they might not know off the top of their head, but maybe if there's any details that can be provided, or even if there's a way to get some more details for the next transportation committee meeting. I'm just interested in knowing what the hardening in the area might look like.
So, I mean, I could speak to that. So, you know, we do have a bunch of marking and signage changes for the Hunters Point South area plan. Now that, you know, our implementation season is finally starting, now that it's April, I'm gonna be checking in with the team to see when exactly we can see those marking changes happen. In terms of, I know that we discussed looking for, kind of hardening the turns, I believe it was 56th Avenue that was mentioned, or 55th Avenue there, that turned onto Center Boulevard. So I know that we're gonna be adding in, what we call quick curb, the kind of vertical elements at 57th and Center Boulevard, to kind of prevent vehicles from parking in that turn bend. Because I know there was issues with trucks turning there. And, you know, we're gonna be also making the parking, legitimizing the parking there on the west curb. So that there's no confusion going on there with the regulations. I should have more of an update when that's gonna be implemented by the next meeting. So we should, I'll be finding out more, and if I find out soon, I'll share that with the board too.
Great, thank you so much. I appreciate the insight.
Of course.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for checking out. All right, excellent. If that's it for public comments, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate everybody coming and commenting. Thank you. I failed to mention I'm joined here by Raphael, who runs this office and is doing an excellent job. And anything that you want to communicate to me or the office, please send to him at the office email. Thanks so much. And he facilitates that very well. Thank you. Great. I think that's it. We can move on to DOT update.
Sure.
If you're ready, Joe.
Yep, I was just looking at that, yeah, that credit card grant that we were talking about. Guess I'll see if that's programmed too.
Oh.
Let me get started with my updates. I'll just touch really quickly on the district-wide concerns over there. I see that there's a new request for car share in the district. I'm not aware of the exact number of spaces in the district, but I guess you're essentially being told there's only 3 locations
So-
in the district.
Yeah, the office got an email. I got an email with updates of renewals of car share.
Yeah.
And email said, included is a comprehensive list of all car share spots in your district. And it was just 3 spots. I think that was wrong. I think it was not, because then I did a Google search of like Zipcar spots and there were many more. Yeah,
Yeah. and
but I know that a lot of those companies are going out of business, so I don't know the exact situation of how many
Yeah.
car share spots there are.
Well, I know sometimes they could be on off-street spaces, in private like lots, so they're not all accounted for in that list that was sent. So there likely are more than what you see out in the public realm. I know that there's the location like a few blocks from here underneath the 7 train, where the Zipcar station is. I mean, if there is, you know, a push to have more of those spaces in the district, you can definitely have that conversation. You know, car share team's always looking to see how it can expand. But like you were saying, there is always kind of coming and going at different companies. Like I know Get Around is no longer in the program. So we did have to remove one of those spaces that was around the district. But it's
Can we
one of-
allot that to another company, like that one space, can that get allotted to Zipcar? Cause they had a couple spots over in the garden somewhere too.
Yeah.
Zipcar, but then the Get Around, I think, is the one that had like 2 spots that we lost, but they had to sign up forever.
Yeah, and
So maybe they should allot that to Zipcar if they want it.
yeah, I mean, that's a conversation I'd have to have, because I would have to confirm, you know, if that's something that is really up to the company or our program, like if they're interested in expanding more spaces. I mean, a lot of it is dependent on like the usage they're seeing and their own internal mechanics of their company, like are they willing to take on more of
Are
them?
they the only one now? Zipcar,
I don't I don't know off the top of my head. I do know Zipcar's active. I know Get Around's not, but I would have to check back on that. Yeah, I can check in with our car team about that if we have like any plans for future expansion or anything like that.
Yeah, it seems just
Um,
like, just with the population growing in the district and it being a lot harder to have a car, the car share
Yeah.
would be something in demand, but if, you know, I'm not hearing it here, so.
Exactly, and I know with the rezoning, like there's always more to explore with, you know, the expansion of these kinds of programs. So
Yeah,
definitely work with that as we go. In terms of the other district-wide, requests, I know that letter was sent regarding the 20-mile-per-hour district-wide speed limits. That's still an active case that's being reviewed by our research implementation and safety group, so we'll wait back to hear what their analysis says on that. As for bus improvements on Queens Boulevard, I know that was a previous conversation we already had. You know, at the current moment, with the Queens Boulevard project, that is not something that's in the near-term planning, but I know in the current moment, we are building out a lot of the bus boarding islands on Queens Boulevard, to kind of improve the reliability of the bus stops there. So they don't have to pull in and out of traffic constantly.
So it's like the Sunnyside thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
the Woodside section is not seeing any improvements in the near future.
Well, I mean, the Woodside section is gonna be seeing the actual capital reconstruction of the boulevard. And what the final design for the bus stops is, I would have to check, but that's still pending right now. So we could see, you know, a rearrangement of how the bus operates on that part of the corridor.
I think the person who requested this originally from the public, I think they were more concerned with the Woodside thing, so if you can
Yeah,
find out the proposed design there, that'd be nice, so we could bring back to now.
of course. And the same goes for the review of these multiple bike corridors. Those are, I know that's still an active case that's being reviewed by the unit.
We'd love to bring the unit out on a ride.
Go ahead.
We can bring the unit out on a group ride.
They got they're pretty open to that, yeah, from what I know, they love, I mean, they're big bikers themselves, obviously, so. I know I'm always out for it, so. Now I'll get into the more district specific ones. I know in Blissville, there is that request for taking that Borden Avenue street end, kind of, you know, converted that into a park. That is a conversation we just got started with parks, so it's in very early stages to see what we can do, but we have got in contact with them to see what their appetite is for something like that. You know, incorporating both the street and the area underneath the highway like we discussed. As spring goes on, I'll find out more about that.
That's nice.
And going on for speaking of Borden Avenue for the redesign for the second phase of the Review Avenue project. So I know, we've actually been working closely with, Henry and Long Island City Partnership, about the existing project, making sure we, you know, have all the, signage and markings in from the previous project and make sure we're all squared away with that. And we do hope to actually start, some of that outreach for that second phase with a lot of the, stakeholders in the area, over the coming, weeks and months. So, more to share about that very soon. And as the team's still working through any kind of future design for that.
Mhm.
Just need a little more, look for themselves, I would say.
Okay.
As for the Conchville bike lane request on Court Square East, for the Thompson Avenue, and Court Square redesign.
We skipped over green asphalt.
Yeah, I don't believe there has been any updates for that one recently.
Is DOT still doing business with them?
That I would have to confirm, but
Cause I
I
think that
believe
was the
so.
big ask. We
Yeah.
wanted them to like, they're in violation about the board felt like, or at least the transportation committee felt.
That's not right.
It's not right to be doing business with someone who's in total violation,
Yeah, and I know they developed their plan to mitigate,
but then it
their
failed, I
response,
thought.
they didn't do it.
Yeah, right,
I
or they
don't think
tried
they
to,
built
but
the
it didn't
smokestack.
work. Either they didn't
I
build
believe
it, or
they-
they did it and then it didn't work.
Yeah, I thought they never built the
I
taller
can't
stack.
remember. Maybe we need to look into that.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, I could look into that.
Yeah, 'cause it was like they were supposed to build smokestacks and either the smokestacks weren't effective or they didn't build them. I can't remember.
I just know that, it's been an ongoing request, so if you can at least confirm, like,
Yeah,
are we doing business, and if so, why, by the next meeting, that would be a great sign of goodwill.
of course, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know that if we are doing business with them, it is only in the winter when we're kind of offloading the asphalt from the previous season. So I'll see what's going on with that one. Yep. For the Court Square project, I know we received that letter from the board's recommendations for the project, and so we'll be looking that over with the public early unit and with DDC to try to incorporate a lot of the requests that we heard from this board when we presented. And I know there was the request for public toilet there, so that's also gonna be considered for the project as well. And also, since that was part of the rezoning agreement, so we are scouting that out for a location in Long Island City, but preferably in that location.
So on the topic of Thompson, is there any better visibility on when the Thompson Ave section of the Queens Boulevard corridor proposal happen?
Yeah, so I know that the bike team was working on a lot of complicated design aspects of the project, especially with the signals. On the on-ramp to the bridge was something that they had to work out. Making progress on that, but still not exactly close to being finished, I would say.
Okay.
Hopefully should hear more about that as this year goes on. I would expect to hear more of a concrete design later in the year, summer, fall, perhaps.
Yeah, there's good connectivity with the 47 Ave,
Yeah.
leg of the network proposal, so it could be good to pair those together.
Definitely, yeah. Next one, I was looking to get a little more info on what this electric car charging station was.
It was part of the budget request from the board,
Okay.
to have electric car charging stations under the Seven Trails, so I wanted to make sure We did get some, yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
Done, yeah.
I was all excited, we just take this one off. It was only in one
in
section.
response to our letter.
Yeah, I
think
know.
That was just an ongoing.
I think it was an ongoing
Yeah.
request, right, for a long time, for
Yeah,
a few years.
yeah.
Yeah, I know they exist at the 33rd Street station right now,
Mhm.
underneath there.
Further up too, right? Closer to us, I thought there was another.
Probably, I don't know every single lot.
Yeah, I think it was one near 40th Street, right?
I should know as the borough planner. Small borough. Small borough.
I feel like it's like 40th or 41st,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think so,
But
yeah.
they just put them in, and there's also a big box, like a big metal box in that, under the,
What's in the box?
I don't know, that's what I was gonna ask.
I'll go find out.
All right.
You know, in terms of like citywide charging, I will say that we are constantly expanding charging locations. You know, we just started construction of some of the community lots in Astoria for fast charging, well, not fast charging. Over this past week, we had a major announcement for fast charging in a lot in Flushing. So we should see more chargers and actually better chargers in the future. That actually have, I believe, like level 1 and 2 charging.
Wow.
So, you know, every year we're definitely making progress on that.
And in the public, garage behind Court Square, remember they?
Yes, we had that presentation about electrifying that.
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
too. Yeah. So,
Here. You were here.
it was last year, so
It was last
Like that, one- well, yeah.
I think it might have been
The
a
fall.
year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh, they might hear that long ago. Cause remember we were talking about how like it was right around, they came here right around the time when that, in Brooklyn, there, a sign flew off of and killed somebody near a public lot. Cause they came and we asked them about something about that.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Might
in
have
the
been
fall.
land use.
Oh, you think it was land use? Oh,
Yeah.
it might have been land use.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right, it was land
Yeah.
use. Oh my God, I'm confusing my.
Oh.
Good memory.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that came up in land use.
Good to know.
Sorry.
Well,
Should have come up here. Right.
Yeah, no, it was, I remember that was around the same time we presented on the hub project, where we were, you know, gonna be moving some of our units into one of the buildings in the industrial part of Long Island City. So,
So that was.
yeah, I could be wrong that it was last year, but I.
No, you're
it was-
probably
it was
right.
Quite some time ago.
Yeah. So I should have remembered that, but instead I remember from the other case.
So, but we're basically good on this ask, right?
I feel like we can cross it out because they've covered a lot,
Cut
right?
Joe a break once in a while.
At least for our district, it seems like it's.
I love taking things off.
Don't know which committee or which committee chair put it on the budget request, but I can. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was.
Environment, yeah, we can ask them.
Just moving on real quick, I know the next item is 39th Street, Queens Boulevard. Riley, I know you were at the meeting with Sunnyside Community Services and a lot of the elected officials for the area. Where we did, and I know this was an ask from the board from the previous meeting recently. Because we were proposing building that bus boarding island at 39th Street. As part of the Queens Boulevard project. And also in tandem with the bus network redesign. And the ask from the board was, if this is built, we would like to see safety improvements at 39th Street. And we presented that along with building this bus boarding island, we would actually create a pedestrian, built out of concrete, a pedestrian corner extension on the northwest corner of 39th Street and Queens Boulevard. So that would eliminate that right turn lane and have, you know, shorten the crossing distance by 20% there. To allow for that safe crossing of 39th Street. In addition to the other concrete elements we'd be building after the bus boarding island. We also, as part of that meeting, we also committed to looking into other safety improvements, and that included both the mid-block crossing on 39th Street. And also exploring, you know, future capital development of where the current stop is.
What does
And
mid-block look like?
so if you're ever in one of those busy commercial corridors where it's not at an intersection of light with a crossing, it'll be in the middle of the block. Yeah,
It's like Steinway Street,
yeah, like Steinway.
but I had another look at 39th Street, it's not quite as long as those ones are. So it would be a challenge. I'm not saying you guys get an out, but,
Yeah, so I mean, it's something we'll.
it is
we-
something
we will
also to,
explore.
yeah.
And then you
there's-
you have two crossings or just one, it just moves?
What was that?
If you move it into mid-block, does that mean if there's not one at the corner, it's, or?
No, there would still be a crossing
There's
at the
a-
corner, it would just be the
yeah,
addition for frontage.
I know Sunnyside Community Services was very excited about the idea.
I think they would be very happy.
Yeah,
That makes
I,
sense.
I noticed the street seems like it was recently restriped.
Yeah, it was resurfaced last year,
Okay.
and so it got brand new markings, so there better visibility of that crosswalk that's there now.
But it
So that was
looked,
the
it
first improvement.
looked, the shoulders are pretty wide, like, you know, there's almost room for the curb extension with the current striping.
On the.
On 39th Street, yeah. Like it looked like, because I remember the aerial had like a right turn lane, and I'm not seeing the right turn lane on the recent like restriping.
I would have to go check, it might not be there, yeah, cause I know it was occupied. Kind of by the construction that was going on in that
Okay,
building.
maybe that's why.
But regardless, that turn lane's not gonna be there
Yeah,
anymore.
okay.
And we'll be able to build that into an actual concrete, extension, which is nice because a lot of times we
Yes.
only are able to build it out in
Yes.
feet, but this will be an actual ramp.
It turns into park.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And-
just to further say, from that meeting, DOT pointed out that there is a manhole, a sewer entrance, in the spot where we wish we could build a bus stop, the bus boarding island.
Yeah.
And that's the utility that can't be moved.
Okay.
And DOT explains that you're using your toolbox to do the bus boarding islands without it being a capital project, which would require, budget requests and years of work. This moves it quickly.
Yeah, we would be able to install this year, like moving if with proposed location. Of that bus boarding island.
And it was all related to Sunnyside.
Yeah, this is all related to their concern, and also the concern that
Not
we
related,
had.
like it was told to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a meeting with them and elected officials, and MTA, to kind of get all on the same page with the request. You know, we're still taking into account their feedback. So we haven't, made, our final decision on it, but we are, taking all that into account. And one final thing to add for that is that, assuming, like, should we be able to build that bus boarding island, we would also, it would be feasible to put a bus shelter there. So that would be another added benefit to having that there. Other items,
No, nothing on the Cusco Bridge.
no, I was about to say that this is something that's still in progress for me, because this is a pretty lengthy conversation I need to have with that traffic planning unit. Because to make improvements there, it would involve changes to the 2 turning lanes on the service road to get onto 43rd, or at least that entrance onto the highway. So that's a little bit more of a long-term conversation I need to have with either our bikes and our traffic planning, and likely the state too. Because it's a highway on ramp. So, I'll keep you all updated on anything that occurs with that. But that's a conversation I'm gonna have over the spring and summer with them.
This
Gotta
is
make that happen.
also related to the network, right? Because 43rd Ave is a corridor identified there, which points
Yeah.
right to so we're trying to send more people there.
Yeah,
So that it's a related project.
so hopefully we want all that to happen in tandem then. Yeah.
And I think you mentioned before that they're gonna upgrade the lighting to like LEDs or something down under there.
Yeah, so we had the lights were out and we were able to get those fixed, and then we do wanna come back and get them actually upgraded, so they're, up to standards and they're a little brighter and makes the visibility under there
Yeah,
better.
it's so dark, even in the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's with the rights and improvements of 43rd Ave, that I'm still waiting to hear back from the bikes team. About like, 1, the construction feasibility, and 2, the final answer on how we'd be able to implement that, so I'll keep you all updated on that.
So it's a persistent problem.
Yeah,
There's every single street, somebody parked in the turning lane.
And the boulevard is crazy. It's insane how bad it.
there's a problem with a lot of the older designs that have that kind of mixing zone with like protected lanes, so. People will eke out any inch of space they can, so. Further down the list, I believe this is an older item that was kind of answered for Broadway and 37th, and, 63rd Street, 9th Street, that BQE entrance.
Pigeon Paradise.
Yeah.
Pigeon Paradise. I know we installed several LPIs at that intersection, so I believe that was the final answer when I did check the case for that.
Okay, yeah, this was a holdover from previous chair,
Okay.
and we just had never really talked about it. I will ask this, when you're going into Jackson Heights, you head in that direction, the sidewalk is not raised, near the entrance to the BQE.
Okay.
What street am I on? It's just this weird, it's a truffle area instead of being an actual sidewalk,
Yeah.
which is crazy because it's the entrance to the expressway. And I just wonder why that is.
It probably was that there was nothing there to begin with, and then we added that in after.
The BQE entrance.
It's a lot of times with those painted pedestrian areas.
37th Ave, yeah,
Oh, God, that was,
right outside, right across Pigeon Paradise.
yeah.
Very similar, but that whole like map. Is that where?
Oh, I see.
Which is part of our district, we never talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah. You're talking about on this side,
Yeah, so-
this right here.
That right there, and so, families cross there.
Just looking at that myself.
Because it is,
Yeah, it looks like a quick build extension, right?
This
that
here
shortens
is-
the crossing.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just paint
okay.
in the middle of this giant intersection. And
It was
this-
probably
this
that, but there was
BQE
never
entrance.
anything there.
is it near the playground?
It's opposite,
Like this way.
Yeah, that's bogged.
um,
It's crazy there was never a sidewalk there.
for this section here. So you're walking from neighborhood,
They didn't,
Oh, yeah.
they didn't
Neighborhood.
think of that when they built the
You're in
highway, I guess.
you're in the street.
They should put that.
That's the name of it?
There's a city sign, it's Pigeon Paradise.
I thought you were.
Okay, so I'll ask you about that in the future to see if there's an answer why. I didn't know if
People are walking here?
there's a crosswalk.
There's a
Multiple
crosswalk,
crosswalks.
I mean, if there's, is it hemmed in by like the delineators?
Yeah,
Wait, there's flex bus there?
If there is not, I could probably look into if they should be there and get those replaced.
I'm seeing. these.
yeah.
Well, there's flex posts. But there's people in the street view, so it's heavily used.
That's all I need to know.
But it'd be good to check if they are still there. Cause if they're not there now,
Oh, yeah.
then that's easy.
That's
right?
an easy fix, yeah. You can get those replaced. So I know that this is traffic signal approval at 60th Street and 37th Avenue. I would say that's dependent on the design and signal contracts. Should be a lot more movement on that this year with any approved signals. Now that, things are more figured out with the contracts and
Yeah.
the installation dates. So we should see less delays on those soon.
Yeah, that's good news. You guys all know this one. 60th Street, go off 37th Avenue,
Mhm.
or sorry, yeah, if you're like on 39th Avenue and you turn on 60th Street to head towards the BQE or whatever, it's this intersection where you have to creep out into the middle of the intersection in order to see traffic, and so it got approved for a traffic signal, which I guess will be further studies, so
Yes.
to see exactly
Oh,
what it's
that's
gonna
great.
look like, but
Yeah, it's
yeah.
more like the engineering of it.
So,
that's the good part.
It's gonna be signalized? For
Yes.
60s, but not necessarily 59. Because 59 is the other half of that couplet.
I mean, I can always check if there was a study for that too.
I mean, honestly, I feel like a signal might even be overkill, just a stop sign would be.
Yeah,
nice.
I would like daylighting, just like so that everybody can see each other. Because this is also, if you ride a bike, this is where it tells you to turn to get to the Broadway protected bikeway.
Yeah, it's a critical link, connecting from it's a critical link connecting from the 39
60.
Yeah.
like Boulevard to 34th at Open Street.
But
Okay.
37.
And like you have Sharrow's leading to a bike lane here, and it's like the link between Jackson Heights and Woodside.
Yeah,
And I mean, to be clear, I mean, the 60th Street one, 39th Ave has stop signs. But when you're going southbound on 59th Street, there's no stop sign.
Okay.
And so you're sending like bikes crossing an uncontrolled intersection.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause you can never get off of 37th Avenue if there's a lot of cars. Unless you get stop signs, right?
Well, it's just more like I
It's
think because
the-
of the way the hill is,
It's
you
a
really
hill
can't
ride.
see the traffic on the street until you creep all the way out there.
Well, it's an uphill ride, right? And it's like the only bike route in that area. And you're asking the bikes to like wait for cars to not be driving. It's
Right.
just like not
And it's
a
not
safe
protected lane.
plan, you know, like it's
Yeah.
not good.
It's, yeah, and it's just the share thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a very residential, avenue, like. It seems very appropriate for stop signs. Basically at every crosswalk there, but Let's go free off.
It can be a pain to try to get them approved, because I see the
But
words and stuff, so.
that couplet there is, I explained is critical, and it's also identified in the network ask.
Yes. Which is actually the next item of, actually, never mind, 39th Road. Yeah, so I know that they asked for this ask of 39th Road of Woodside, yeah, I've said in the past that our bike team is looking for improvements along Woodside Ave. As to kind of complement what was made on 39th Ave already. And I know this was an ask from the board, to see improvements on that section of Woodside Ave, so. Very, very early stages, looking to see what can be done there, but just to let you all know that is, in the hopper there with the team to try to see if there's any improvements we can do there. Considering a lot of things we tried on 39th Road were not exactly approved, so. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, here again, like, it doesn't have to be crazy, like, 2S are curb cuts
Yeah,
and, a little bit of daylighting, because it is a place where people park right into the crosswalk,
yeah,
and there's a lot of turns onto a narrow road.
okay,
But yeah, if without the curb cuts there, then somebody in a wheelchair has to go a full block to cross the street, to cross Woodside Avenue.
yeah. Yeah, so if those aren't, up to standard, then I can see if they're programmed for anytime soon, to get reconstructed. Yeah, that's our goal, get every corner in the city, and
Yeah.
it can take a while, I'll say.
Do we have a separate ask for, which one is it? I'm so sorry. You said it's 54th and 39th Ave.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, that's the next item,
Alright, cool.
54th, 39th Ave. Yeah, I looked into that, and so the current case is. It was strange, it was essentially a duplicate of another case, that we have that's currently active. Because the original answer was that it was denied, but it's being studied again under a different case. And so I have that other case number that can be used as the one to actually track this request.
For 54th and 39th.
Yeah, for 54th and 39th, whenever you're ready, take that down, that is DOT-740336-K8T7.
K8T7.
Yeah, so that would be the current active case for that request. So I'll know more when that's finished. And same goes for the request to extend the bike infrastructure on 39th Ave, that's still be looked at long term by the team.
That one, our note here says invalid case number.
Yeah, I'll look into if that is the actual still active case number or not, and I'll be able to send you all if that is the actual one or not.
Maybe also then the one above the always stop sign or speed bump request for 50th Avenue. That one also is flagged as an invalid case number.
Yeah, that was the. Sorry about that, so. Sorry, which one was that on?
It's just above,
Third from the bottom,
request for an always stop sign or speed bump being installed 50th Avenue.
665092.
Yeah, that one was. Yeah, so that was, I had that mixed up, so that was, the case number I actually just gave now was for that one.
Oh,
Sorry, okay, sorry about that.
Yeah,
I had it on the wrong line. So that, the one that started with 740 is actually for 50th and, yeah, in that
Okay.
intersection there.
So the L5D9, that's valid.
L5D9 is valid and still active. Moving on to Long Island City, I see, that Borden and 11th was, a concern there. What have you been hearing for that one?
Yeah, so former co-chair Sheila Lewandowski brought this to me. She said that they appreciate the new stop signs, but it may be causing new problems. Different. Do you know what's going on there, Henry?
Yeah, so I know the business that's like right on the corner as well that I talk with a lot, and I think a lot of people are blowing the stop sign.
Okay.
So that's definitely one of the issues, but I guess the direction of who goes first, and I think
Yeah.
cars are still trying to figure out because it's such a weird intersection, trying to like merge onto a highway on such a short ramp
Yeah.
as well. So they're kind of like flying through. And I think also people, when there's a truck parked on, like right in front of the stop sign on Borden, on the
Okay.
south side, it blocks the stop sign. That's what this business was telling me, like, yeah, it happens a lot and quite frequently. Or if there's a big truck stopped at the stop sign, then the cars behind it can't see and then they speed up. So I think just more awareness that there is a stop sign there
Yeah.
could do some wonders.
Like a stop ahead sign,
Yeah, exactly.
50 people.
Yeah, so, so for this item and the item right below it, with Borden and Vernon, we do expect those to be addressed under the Borden Avenue project. So that's definitely helpful to know, with like trucks blocking that stop sign, so
Mhm.
any, concerns we're hearing right now for these two items, we can definitely incorporate into the project, since we're gonna be, dumping a ton of resources into this section of Borden, so, gonna see a lot of things addressing that.
Yeah, there's a Reddit thread about this as well.
Oh, yeah.
Good to know.
That was,
They're informative. That's
They
why
are.
they weigh in on things.
There's a lot of DOT, I mean, not DOT, but transportation type stuff on Reddit in our community now.
No shortage.
yeah, we keep our. It's
Yeah.
good to know what people think.
Man. Other people.
Yeah. And so as we move further into the season, we'll know more about what's happening with that. And same goes for next item with the lane markings, since now that it's finally nice out. We should be able to see more of the markings refreshed, like for this item on, Queens Plaza and the Queensboro Bridge.
Oh, please.
Yeah, so, as this, now that we finally just started the marketing season, we should see a lot more of those refreshed. And, we actually are meeting with the marketing team over the next 2 weeks,
Oh, right.
to kind of prioritize, locations that we need to see, marking that's up, this will be at the top of the line.
Mhm.
So,
Nice.
as for the QEV path, the Queensboro Bridge path, I know that for the most part, a lot of the markings have been updated on the bike path on the bridge. I'm gonna confirm with the team if there's still more that needs to be finished. I did ride over the bridge myself, I would say about 2 weeks ago, and I saw that, the center line is there now for the bikes in both directions.
Oh.
And I'll just confirm if there's any other additional markings that need to be put there. I know the signage was updated on the Queen side of the bridge at the base.
Yeah, the sign is much clearer now.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because I saw it the other day and I'm like, you really gotta not be paying attention if people come to that path now.
Yeah, but people do. Like,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see as the weather gets warmer, like what
We
happens.
will see.
But that crosswalk at the base is so nice.
Yeah, at Crescent Street, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, glad that's there.
Like
now.
you don't have an excuse now. Like just cross the street. You're about to walk on a whole bridge. Just
Well.
cross the
Exactly. Yeah, I would definitely looking forward to riding on the bridge again soon. Especially on the bike.
Yeah. It's fun. I do wonder if the pedestrian pathway will it'll ever be entertained to have some shade. there, because I feel like that might be a reason why people use the other side. A 30
That's
minute
something I
walk
never thought
in
about,
the
yeah.
sun. Maybe people are like, no, no thanks. I'll go walk with the bikes.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be a long-term plan, but I mean, I'll run that
Yeah,
by the
just throw it
team.
out there. I haven't walked it myself in the sun, so I don't know, you
I
know.
would, and who knows, it could be, you could make some kind of art project in the fence to make shade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throwing ideas out there.
Miss Carisha when you need it. Arts and culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
As long as it doesn't affect the view.
Yes.
That's interesting. Does it use it? Oh, okay.
Because on the north side, you get the morning sun, which I don't think is bad, but the afternoon sun on the pedestrian side is pretty good.
Where the sun catches.
Mhm.
Sun catches all over there.
Oh, really?
What are those?
It's like, they're like translucent, and then when the sun hits it, it makes a rainbow.
Oh.
All right.
Let's melt the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Rainbows are good for it.
Yeah. So I know another item, that I actually heard more about today, was the Green Boulevard, bridge over 77 yards. It's new to me that there's scaffolding there now. And also those weird offset yellow bumps that are there now. So I just spoke with, our construction management, the permits office today. They're gonna go actually in person and look at that, because it's a strange arrangement, I'll say, the bumps there.
Cause it feels like DOT has like a design language, right, with like the thick thermoplastic rumble strip,
Yeah,
which is effective.
yeah,
It seems like that's something that we could just ask the construction, like just do what. We already do this, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
yeah, that's definitely reinventing the wheel that's been done now.
Yeah.
So. There's been a lot of changes that we've asked them to do, and seems like they're going above and beyond now with what they're adding. So, we should know like within a week or so, like what the determination is, what should be kept, what should be saved.
Great.
So we'll know more about that.
Yeah, I will say, the yellow things are dangerous. They don't work. I understand having to slow traffic down because now
Yeah,
fast bikes have to slow down a lot to join a lane that with opposing traffic. And then people coming out of the subway. But if anybody had installed speed bumps in the roadway for cars,
They removed this
they would be removed instantly. But we've had this for
a
a
year.
season, a year, and now they've gotten worse, so they should be removed. There should be another one.
I'll push for that
Yeah,
because it's,
a board member wrote to me, maybe to you as well, to say that they were riding with a baby in a kid's seat, and the baby nearly got tossed out.
oh, yeah.
That
Jesus.
Yeah, and then when you're riding a bike, if you slow down too much, then you lose your balance.
Yeah,
You have to maintain some kind of speed. So that's what they said.
yeah. I'll see what we can do about that,
Yeah, thank you.
because you're not the only ones who don't need us
Yeah.
about that bike there, so. I mean, that's all for me from my remaining updates, for these items. Not sure if, there was any other questions.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's see, so I said Amparo, is the board member. I appreciate that the, Sammy's Law is allowing 15 mile per hour speed limits on school streets. There
Yeah,
were, maybe at least one school that was left out, the IS 125, where we had another tragedy in our district, and 16-year-old was killed by a turning truck. So the question is, why wouldn't they get a 15 mile per hour zone?
yeah, so following the recent announcement from the mayor and our commissioner, every school is going to be, given that slow zone. Right now, we're working out the list that's gonna be done for this year. So I know that, we just developed that list for this year, and we're gonna be sending out notifications
I
for,
think we got a list.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got a list.
okay,
Yeah. And so
Um,
that school wasn't on it. And I don't know, I do know like one street around the school is selected
Yeah,
in most cases, and like for PS 361, it's not exactly the street that the kids use, but it is a street that we've asked to be slowed down, 58th Street.
yeah,
So let's take that.
yeah, I'll definitely look into why that school was not included in the original batch. Because but I do know that that school is also part of, a planned capital project for the Safe Routes to School. It's a little more long-term than this, but I'll also, try to see what's going on, why that wasn't included originally.
Yeah, because there are other sections of maybe 47th Avenue where whole sections are slowed down.
Yeah,
So I can't imagine if it was because it was an avenue like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
could have been an oversight, so I'll look into that.
like obviously recognizing that ultimately every school will have a speed, will have a speed reduction, but like. IS 125 is like the only zoned intermediate, like middle school
Yeah.
in Sunnyside. Also, like the school districts are sliced by Queens Boulevard. So if you're on the south side, it's either that or like Bushwick. So they really
yeah.
have to go to IS unless you get into an out of district school.
Yeah,
So it's just like a super high demand thing for kids like parents with kids at a certain age. And worth mentioning, 47th Ave is called out in the Sunnyside Bike Network ask.
that's it, yes. I'll definitely look into that more. Cool. Thanks for pointing that out about the school though, like I didn't realize that wasn't on the list.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, I made sure that everybody in the board got to see the list so that anybody could say, hey, wait a minute, what about this one? So that's the one we're about.
Also, would be any chance to get like the data on like the actual shape files? So that like people can like make maps and help people understand where there's like a list of streets is sometimes hard for people to really like wrap their
Yeah.
head around.
I don't believe that, like, I'd seen any kind of, like, GIS shape files for that. But I mean, I'll ask.
Like I'm sure they're still sending stuff out, but maybe once we have like all the boards have been notified, they can
Yeah.
share like one data set of like, here's where we proposed, it's draft, we're waiting on feedback, but like. That's something that like advocates can work with,
Yeah, and I'm sure that's something that'll eventually make its way into like open data.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, we have our own Vision Zero map. That kind of runs off of that has like the speed limit like overlay on
Right,
different
right.
streets. So hopefully that'll be incorporated into that pretty soon too.
Yeah,
Which I would expect.
I'm sure a lot of like Family Safe Streets members are eager to find out like. How much the total streets affected by Sammy's Law have changed.
Yeah,
They're gonna wanna look at all that stuff as soon as it's available.
yeah. So I mean, that's probably something I ask the school safety unit then. Cool.
Has your office discussed how exactly enforcement would happen? Or how you get somebody driving 36 miles per hour to slow down 15?
Yeah, obviously there'll be those signage changes, but that's definitely a conversation we can have with the police, and I know they do. Prioritize school zones, especially for kind of like local speeding on streets. That's something we will have to rely on enforcement with, but if we see any kind of future expansion with, our speed camera program too, that can definitely be applied to this. And also, we're always looking to add more of those like traffic calming elements around the schools. The school safety unit has a lot of different locations to address, considering how many schools are just in this board alone. Always open to hearing more suggestions about, individual locations, though.
Sure. That's all I have.
Do you think it's worth us like making an item to really discuss all these locations, or do we feel like we're pretty good with people looking at it? Like,
I think like,
60 days to respond.
oh, yeah. Yeah, I think maybe I'll bring it up at the big board meeting, if anybody has any suggestions that we could bring to the next meeting. Yes.
Just one more thing I wanted to add, was that I do have a really quick list of night resurfacing locations coming up in the board. So that it will be, first one was Hunters Point Ave, thankfully, which is a big one. That'll be from Greenpoint Ave to Skillman Ave. Hate the way this printed out on this piece of paper. The other was, Skillman Ave, and that's in two sections. First section was from 52nd Street to Queens Boulevard. And the other was from Queens Boulevard to 49th Avenue.
Wait, say this again?
For the two sections on Skillman, it's from 52nd to. Sorry, I'm not reading.
Oh, we have the list here.
Oh, you have the list right there.
Wow.
It was sent.
I was like entering my mind palace. Look at these.
Okay,
streets.
this is,
Does
that
this
is.
mean
the-
Gilman Avenue is getting repaved completely, 52nd to Queens Boulevard?
Yeah, let me just pull up the actual file myself, because this is a terrible formatting to have.
Yeah.
This.
The headings are,
Oh,
I think it's
Oh,
on street is
okay,
Point
okay.
Avenue from Greenpoint to Skillman.
okay. Yeah, so
Uh,
that's,
From.
please refer to that.
There we go.
Here it is, yeah, for CV too.
If I can make a humble request, Roosevelt Avenue is getting worse every week. 49th
Oh,
Street,
this section.
49th Street to 56th Street. I may even go past 56th Street. I just don't bike on that part of it, but like
Yeah,
I ride that section of Roosevelt Avenue like twice a day, and every time I feel like my life is in danger. Like it is really, like it's trenched. Like it's a total nightmare. It's like the surface of the moon.
yeah,
Every intersection.
so, all right.
And I tried to
Yeah,
311
I'll
it, but
see.
like they only ask you for like one intersection. And so I tried it in the notes, be like, it's actually like many intersections. And I never got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, I mean, that, I'll try to see if there's, a lot of times when a road's is in that condition. It's not resurfaced, there's sometimes like a capital conflict, because I know there's those MTA projects happening underneath there.
But it's
I'm
like
gonna look
turning
on-
into a safety emergency.
Exactly, so I'm gonna look into see if one, there is a conflict there, and if not, like. Definitely get short term, get a pothole,
Yeah.
repair order there. To try to see if we can get that inspected for resurfacing, if it hasn't already been inspected.
Great.
Same thing with Greenpoint Avenue in Gatesville, the other Greenpoint Avenue.
Yeah.
bridge. I drove that the other day and, it's rough.
That road gets beat up.
Very.
Just a question about that. Those are in the vid, so thank you for those resurfacing. Yeah, the concrete is all over Skull. But does that include the Hunters Point Bridge, like crossing Newtown Creek for the resurfacing or?
Well, any resurfacing wouldn't touch a bridge.
Yeah.
Um, those would have to be, repaired independently, unless it's just a pothole, you can just fill that in.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, I just want
yeah,
to clarify.
anything besides the bridge, really.
And that's happening overnight.
So that's, yeah,
Do you know the date for those, or is that like the next coming weeks or something?
I would say over the next coming weeks.
Cause
Yeah.
they like wipe it out.
Yeah, they mill it,
They mill it, and
leave
then-
it open for a few weeks, so if there's any utility work, they can come in and do that.
Yeah.
And then, have that repaved.
Okay.
We have those
Yeah.
on our, if you type in, DOT resurfacing schedule,
Mhm.
the resurfacing for each week is live, so you can see what's.
Oh, cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, you can actually see what's planned for the coming week, and the exact locations. So
Okay.
definitely keep an eye on that website, to see if any of
Yeah.
these streets are coming up, in the coming weeks.
I didn't know.
Teresa, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I actually I just wanted to ask about the point of when you make the 311 complaints and the issue with the marking it locations. Joe, what do you think is like the best location to put a dot, or like when you guys receive it on your end, just like when it is a range? Like what should we be telling constituents is the best way to do this?
So, for pothole resurfacing,
I'd say, I guess more of like the resurfacing over like an area, because I've actually had this come up a couple of different times where constituents like, I can't flag where it is, and like they have issues with like describing it, like because it's covering like either multiple areas or it's like a range. Like, what's the best way for people to be able to get that information to you guys so that you're not struggling to understand what they're asking for?
yeah, I would say for if you're asking for a street to be resurfaced, instead of in 311, definitely make that request directly through our website, through our web form. So that way you can actually, it's a little more flexible with how you add the location in.
Okay.
you'll be able to put an actual location and it allows you to put a multi-block stretch in. If you wanna have that kind of detail in there.
Right.
Is that
Okay.
the form that the 311 app sends you to when you report potholes?
That's a different form. For potholes have their own kind of website to track. But anything like that's a little more long term, like, you know, in the same place you make a sign or a sign or markings request. Like on our website,
Yeah.
that's where you can put in like a resurfacing request. Because that can be a little more long term, like it have to make its way onto the schedule. And then be you know, fit in where it can, if it's marked as, you know, bad condition.
Okay, so I have two maybe longer term. One is to actually integrate that into the 311 app.
Which would be great, honestly.
Joe's like, yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
no, but like, I mean, we can do it, like, I would happily do a motion for this if that's what you need, but like.
Oh, yeah, that is
Well, I was,
citywide thing. yeah.
right, and I was gonna say initially, like, that. A lot of 311 requests are fully integrated into the app, right? Where like
Yeah,
you can track your 311s and it's like you have a history, and then there's other things like the pothole reporting where
That's the worst.
it just sends you to like an old school
it's like a
form.
very simple
An
form.
old janky
Right.
form on the website rather than in the 311 app.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Which
And
is-
then, you know, I never get the actual 311 number from my report, so I can't escalate anything, and like, I was
Yeah.
actually gonna bring that up. Like,
Yeah,
as
for
a separate-
potholes, you'll get like a DQ number. they're called.
Right,
So, yeah, you know,
but then in addition, right? Resurfacing isn't even on the app, like even that crummy form is
yeah,
not linked.
resurfacing happens like, you would request resurfacing directly through us.
But
is
there's,
that-
but there's a page on the 311 website for it.
But is that an issue between the 311, the technology
Yeah,
and
can I?
innovation
Sure,
versus
so if I-
DOT?
Like, so it says. Request resurfacing. Oh, yeah, so you can request it through 311 as well.
But like when you search for resurface under the 311 app, like nothing.
Yeah, which is why I recommend doing our actual web form. For specifically for resurfacing, because you can do it through 311 there.
Do
But
you know how that works? Like, how does tech innovation decide to put things on the 311 app versus stuff living with DOT? Does DOT request 311 to add it, or is?
yes, I mean, what's helpful now is that, so we have our own internal system for the, you know, for case requests.
Yeah.
Like if you're requesting a sign or like a regulation change or anything like that. I believe a year or two ago, that system now incorporates 311 into it. So our internal system does get 311s in that system now, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
I wonder,
it
like-
is a little more integrated now.
but I wonder how, like, 311, because I've seen it with other things, with even with parks, like some things are in 311 app and some things you have to go to the
Yeah. for
parks
the
app.
agency
So maybe
directly
it's
for it.
just that 311 just doesn't have the capacity to have every request for every agency.
I think it's just a matter of like what was already being handled by the agency and then what was. What would the agency prefer to be kept internal, and it's. This definitely goes beyond myself. But, I'm just speaking from like my own experience of using it.
Maybe we should bring that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
There we go. That helpful? Yeah.
Talk to tech.
Let me, yeah, I wanna check there, this will help you out more.
With all the other
But-
committees.
Let's get them all together.
If it's probably tech and innovation probably can tell us a lot, so, or whatever that, what is the department called now?
Engagement and inclusion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think also 311 gets, like, people just create AIs and bots to like
Oh,
load
really?
into 311 and just like,
Wow.
I know NYPD mentioned that to me, so because sometimes you get a case and it gets closed automatically.
I heard,
Oh, that does.
I heard that NYPD thought that's what was happening.
You can,
Yeah.
Turns out that no, dedicated
mad.
citizens
well,
are like. Repeated, like, is this getting closed
Yeah.
without being addressed?
It happens a lot.
Which, by the way, has happens to me a
a
lot,
lot. Me
It's a
too.
lot,
Me too.
and I've escalated that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to say sanitation is one of the best
That is
issues
good.
that actually responds. I mean, once in a while they don't, but they're usually really good and fast.
No, I straight up, like, you know,
No offense, Joe.
No,
I don't
he was response to my requests, for sure. No, NYPD, let me tell you, I don't know if you remember like last year, they sent like a rep to come to our community board. And I took the mic and said like, hey, like your guys are obstructing the entire sidewalk between 7th and
Yeah.
State, and they fixed it. But they're back to the way they were. And I reported on 311 on my way to the waterfront. And then
Oh,
it was
yeah,
closed
parking.
while I was there. So then I went back and they didn't fix it. And so then I escalated it. But it's like, they're doing this
No,
all
I
the
just-
time.
yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
We should go to the monthly meeting.
I agree. It's
You
crazy.
got a lot of people to go.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
And I want them to make record.
It is.
Let's finish up with Joe. Did you
Yeah,
have
I
more?
have more for
You
Joe.
have
I'm
quite a
sorry.
lot.
Oh, I'm working through 'em, actually.
Okay.
Okay, so the corner reconstructions on Greenpoint Avenue.
Yeah.
Are continuing. But it's the same problem that I brought up last time, which is like, they're reconstructing the entire corner. And they have some like rubber quick curb that just sends people into the street. And I was under the impression that there's a city ordinance or policy that like, when you fully obstruct the sidewalk, you have to create a safe
Yeah.
pedestrian. And like, that is not being done systematically on this project.
Okay.
So like today, on the way to the 7 train, I had to walk into oncoming traffic to like get around the construction in front of like the coffee shop at like, street is 45th at Greenpoint.
Oh, yeah, definitely get an email sent to me, if there's like an exact location that they're doing that,
Yeah,
and I'll
that's
just
too bad.
let them know that the
Yeah.
contractors aren't following that.
Yeah, because they were doing it on one corner and I mentioned it and then they finished that project and now they're doing it again. It's just the same.
They're
like-
doing it on 45th and 46th.
Yeah, yeah.
At the same, and,
Um,
yeah.
And Greenpoint Ave is just such a heavy pedestrian street,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's not
And
gonna.
it's the same thing they did before the winter when they put those little yellow things to
Yeah.
walk up and they're not very accessible. for a lot of
Exactly.
I'll
people.
make a note to send us.
Yeah, that's-
So it's elderly
I
couple
mean,
walk
it's-
into the street on Greenpoint Avenue. I'm like, oh my God, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Teresa, did you have a comment on that?
Yeah, actually, I personally deal with this exact problem because I walk up and down Greenpoint almost every single day because that's how my son gets to school. I want to follow up with the question is, Joe, do you know why they like how they pick like which corner they're going to do next? Because one of the things that I noticed is that they almost sometimes even like have them at the opposite corners, which means I have to cross. And I'm like, okay, great, I'm on the other side of the street. I'm anticipating this. And then immediately, like right after, there's another one, and then I have to cross back. Like, is there a rhyme or reason for when they pick what corners to do and do? Or, like, it's just because like walking with my son back and forth, just like ping ponging through the street. Like, is there a rhyme or reason for how they choose what corners to do when?
Yeah, I know it comes down to a ton of different factors, like which corners are constructible, what ones are people pushing for to have done sooner. And also, is it considered a complex or simple job? And so they tend to batch them together by location. Since it's a lot easier to get them done, multiple corners in one like small area.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it is kind of based on how feasible it is to construct it and also concerns that we hear which ones people want to see done sooner. But you're saying like exact corners?
I'm trying to think, and this, I think it was something that happened in the past, but I had a situation where like I had to like walk in the street around and then, or I'll anticipate and cross only to have to like cross again because, or just like avoid Greenpoint entirely just because either with a stroller or with a toddler, like they're just like, it's harder to do it with little kids because they don't understand like the safety of it and also like it's very scary because making sure that he's like walking not next to the street because of the sight lines of people or even either bikes or other people, like it gets a little bit hairy with kids with strollers or anybody who has any mobility issues of it ping-ponging back and forth, especially since it's like a diagonal.
Yeah, well, you know, as, when they're doing that work, there should be, you know, a simple way around it. And if there's not, definitely let me know. I can let our the ped ramp team know. That there's
Yeah.
construction in there.
No, and I'll be
They-
more
they
mindful
communicate
of.
with the contractors pretty easily, so.
I'll be more mindful of just making note of it. It's just hard because I'm trying to stop my son from like killing himself on the street, so I can't stop and be like, oh, you know what? Let me take a picture and.
Yeah,
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 I
I mean,
was-
I get it. It's one of those things that you think about in the moment and then, you know,
Yeah.
you're just trying to get past it.
Right now, it's 45th Street and 46th Street, so in 45th
Okay,
Street, they're doing, I think it's the northwest corner, and on
Yeah, right by-
46th Street, they're doing both the
Right by Regis.
northwest and southwest corners.
okay,
One's finished or just finished, and the other just started.
yeah. Those are a little more complicated because of the pavers too, so, but, yeah, just, like I said, just send me over any concerns.
Alright. But they're hopefully relatively quick, so they'll be gone probably in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, weather's been pretty good to us,
Yeah.
so that's usually what delays it, so, cause I know that's what delayed the other one last year.
Yeah,
Cause there's a lot of back and forth with that one. But all good, I mean, and we've also been coordinating with the bid about, you know, the pavers there, cause they wanted to hold on to some for spare repairs. So. You know, that should be.
they
pretty
wanted
good.
to hold on. What?
Any of the pavers that we removed that are extra, we're coordinating with the bid to have, you know, to give them that in case there's ever needs to be repairs in the future.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Was that everything, Corey?
For Joe, yeah.
Very
Uh,
nice.
You.
Oh.
And then, yeah, the tragedy that happened on 62nd Street and Roosevelt Avenue.
Yeah,
I'm sure your team is looking at the intersection there and the whole area to make sure that it is as safe as possible.
Yeah.
And to review, exactly anything that could have been different to have made that crossing safer, for that young woman.
yeah, whenever there is, any kind of, you know, loss of life with a crash, we have an emergency response team that goes out right away, to check to see if everything's in working order at the location, whether it's an intersection or not. You know, was there any markings missing, any signage or light missing? So that's just the first order of business, and then we'll be able to look at it long term to see, you know, is there anything, you know, we should do differently with like the American Street. I mean, I would have to check in to see, you know, what the final report was for that. But we can, you know, figure out next steps for that intersection, especially with the team that handles the statistics for crashes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard because it wasn't a long crosswalk.
Yeah, it was on a side street, it was just a simple turning maneuver, but
Yeah. But these trucks with, a lot of power and a lot of speed, can do a lot of damage before they realize it.
yeah, and you know, again, it seems like, you know, the main concern that we talked about in the beginning of the meeting was lighting under the train, so. If anything, we can get a lighting study started, try to see if we can get that, you know, some good results from that. I think that's a good first step.
I've also pushed for the fact that that is the bus stop connection for the, LaGuardia, train. And it's terrible. It's,
Yeah.
you know, just imagine you're visiting New York with your family, you fly into LaGuardia and you get off here. And this thing
Welcome.
that the city,
Yeah,
you know, I understand there's a massive construction project that's been going on there at the train station. But it's, the sidewalk is terrible,
We
the
got the
street
World
is
Cup
terrible.
Seems to be a priority for the mayor.
Yeah, and like, this really is the only public transit, mass transit connection. This bus has only 2 stops, you know, and this is one of them. And there are no trains connected to LaGuardia. So it's really a shame. And, you know, obviously we've talked about it. We've talked about this station and how it needs cyclo, infrastructure and, you know, all that stuff. And somebody has died, you know, and like, that's on us as a society and the city and the city agencies to do something about it. you know, so this is why we're here, this is why we push for it. Yeah. The woman who died, I told my daughter in the fifth grade, I said, you know, somebody died, and I'm always telling you, like, be careful crossing the street.
Yes.
Anything could come out of anywhere. She said, I know the girl's sister is in my class. So now it's a community. It's that girl will come back to class without her sister, and a whole community, a whole school is dealing with it, and you know, so this stuff is important, and I said recently that it doesn't happen a lot in our district. We may have high statistics because of.
The irony is, we actually have some of the worst traffic fatalities in the city.
Yeah.
We're like in the top 5 community districts in traffic fatalities per
Is that because of
capita.
the expressway? We're not.
I don't know,
Seeing a
I
lot.
think it's the IBZ, it's Blissville, it's Greenpoint Avenue, you know, it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean Boulevard, but like,
A lot of highway areas.
yeah, we don't do well. We're the worst in Queens and we're the 5th worst in the city.
Speaking of which, if I can, just add in one thing, because we talked about this before, and it's kind of along this topic. The school zone over by 46th Street and 47th Avenue. I kept reporting the strip, because it kept getting ripped up.
Yeah,
No,
the
so they
turnpike.
keep replacing them. But they're not helping, because you see it all the time, the cars and the trucks, they don't realize how to. And I think part of it is their fault, but I think part of it is not their fault, because I think they don't understand how they work. And a lot of them turn short, like they go through it rather than going around and making
Yeah.
a long turn. So I remember the crossing guard pulled me aside one day, and others folks said, we've got to make this more safe school zone. I know we talked about it last year. Is there any update? Are they gonna, I know there's like a bigger project there, but
Yeah.
can we get like one of those yellow signs that says school zone? And, because they used to have that years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and then we're gonna be, you know, installing those school slow zones, at every school, like we just mentioned. So this, you know, we should see those signs soon. Again, I'll push to see why, you know, it wasn't included in the first batch, but, you know, we should see at least that signage as the first step.
Especially there. That's,
Yeah.
had a death there already, injuries. Yeah, and it's a busy, and it's like people are heading towards the highway. There. Yeah.
It's tough, and you know, your agency has its work cut out for it. It is a very, very hard district with a lot of automobiles and a lot of industrial zones and a big mix of a lot of things. So I appreciate it, and it is why we're here all the time, and it's why you're here. So I
Right.
appreciate everything you guys do, and
Good job, you did.
the work is urgent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, thank you, sir. We have a few things to discuss, specifically Queensland,
Yes,
which we promised
Thank you,
to
Chief.
discuss.
yeah.
Thank you all
for
listening.
Thank you, Joe.
We even have grown.
We have
Four people
four.
first, and then-
We're missing Dr. Roz and Roz,
They're actually right.
Randy. So we have one, two, we have four.
I'll look for it, if they don't apply.
Is that in four?
You know,
We're trippers.
you have to have more than half, right?
We have Omaya on.
No, not anymore.
No?
Oh, no.
We have, Bill Murray, he's a new community board member. Neil
So
Go.
then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, so then there's 5. So we have enough, right?
Even if they're not on the committee?
Oh, I have to be on the committee. How many people are on the committee?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So we need 5.
Yeah.
Nope, and nobody's on.
All right, let me call Roz and.
No, she's out of the country, she's in Peru and.
Yeah.
Because I believe Queenslink is coming to the board meeting on Thursday,
Okay,
and they're going to be asking what the transportation committee thinks about this.
all right.
So at
I
least
did some homework.
we can discuss it,
Yeah, that's,
and then we can just say,
yeah,
you know, that
Yeah.
this is the general feeling, and we can talk about it, even if we don't have form to pass a resolution. You want to say anything? Did you just?
yeah, so I did
Yeah?
some homework and I have a little bit of a better understanding. Cause I was confused, cause you have the inner borough plus you have Queens Link, and then we have Queensway.
Yeah.
And so I now understand that the Interborough and Queens Link are completely separate projects and won't step over each other's toes, and we can support both if we wanted. Really here is the issue of, as you said on the agenda, Queens Link or Queensway. And maybe it doesn't have to be either or, like maybe we can support, maybe we don't. Okay, so one way we could be heavy on supporting Queensway, but without imposing on the length or the future of having a link. Or we could go the other way and be really heavy, proving and more pushing, do a resolution that like, we want to support Queens Link because we want to support good rail and transportation for people throughout the area. And then whether we name Queensway or in that resolution, we could just say something like making sure, ensuring, like thinking about what is the purpose of Queensway, which is to give recreation and environmental protection. So maybe it's like offering or having that ability.
What do we think about conditional support for Queensway only insofar as it doesn't preclude Queenslink forward?
Well, that's one way, that's, you said it much more eloquently than what I was trying to
Well,
say.
because
But
the
yeah,
fact is, currently, the Queensway project, it makes no accommodations
Right.
for rail.
what if we did it the other way? Does it make sense to do it the other way, that we support Queens Link
Yeah,
without precluding recreation area?
here's what I think, right?
This was a request.
As it pertains directly to our board,
Yeah,
the only of these two projects that impacts us is Queenslink. Like, a new park anywhere in the city impacts us insofar as the residents from our district can go to that park. Queenslink will legitimately improve rail service for people in Queens City too. So I think there's a strong argument to be made that we should support Queenslink.
oh, so that's what they're saying, project as not to preclude rail reactivation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think and so,
The complicating factor
yeah,
is
Okay, cool.
Queensway has way more funding, it's further along in the project design, it secured federal funding. So you don't wanna say no to that and throw the money back into the hands of a.
No. And we're only advisory anyway, so they might not listen to
Yeah.
us anyway, but
But like,
no,
I personally think that doing Queensway as is like basically killing like another IBX that could be, that could
Right.
happen, you know?
no, I hear you, and let me just. So, actually, yes, I worked a little with AI to come up with like resolutions and stuff, just to kind of get work through my brain. But like, one was like, the conclusion was, be it resolved that the community board does not support any action that would permanently eliminate the corridor's potential for future rail use, absent a full and transparent public review, demonstrating that such use is not viable. I don't completely like that, because I don't like the way it's negative and it's hard to follow.
And the only thing is like technically, Queensway would not permanently preclude rail reactivation. It is a rail to trail project. Feasibly, you could, rip up the park and do rail activation.
But
Right.
it's not gonna happen once you
But
build the park.
we don't wanna do
No, we
that.
don't wanna do that. So how about like the final? Be it further resolved that, and we don't have to use AI, you can
Right.
write our own. But that the community board urges that elected officials and relevant agencies prioritize investment in transit infrastructure while ensuring the corridor delivers meaningful environmental and recreational benefits to surrounding communities. Something like that.
But what are we actually asking them to do?
Well, that's just the bottom, that says at the end there, but, so like this says, I've got, be it resolved, the community board supports reactivation of rail service via Queens Link project as preferred long-term use of the Rockaway Beach, branch corridor. Calls for Queens Link to be designed as a multi-benefit corridor. Community board to encourage incorporation of recreational amenities along the rail corridor. Does not support any proposal that would preclude rail reactivation. urges a formal feasibility study, calls for robust community engagement, support near-term reversible improvements such as cleanup, lighting, and temporary paths, only if explicitly designed to be compatible with future rail. Or we could do like what they said. We appreciate if the CB2 could request that DPR, EDC, and the mayor shift plans on the Queensway project so as not to preclude
Yeah.
rail reactivation.
I think they're embedding two asks here, right? One, which is very simple, is we could just support Queens Link as a project, and I don't think that's controversial. I think we think it's a great project, right? The second thing is, would we then go ahead and say, we have issues with Queensway and we want to ensure that it doesn't preclude Queens Link?
I like that.
Right? I think
I
two
like that.
motions, but like,
Well,
yeah,
I think we could do it in one motion, one resolution. I mean, we could either do it as, it doesn't have to be a resolution, it could just be a letter that we write. We just have a motion to write a letter that supports the creation, that supports Queens Link
yeah.
and
The only
second end.
reason I think it might be good to break it into two is if anyone on the board has an issue with opposing Queensway. Right, because it is a
But we
funded,
we don't have to oppose it, right?
well, what they're asking us to say is. We request that they shift plans on the project so as not to preclude rail reactivation. So
Well, we could,
it's possible.
well, we don't have to say it the way they want us to say it. We could say it that, you know, we want to support Queens Link. And we want to make it clear that, the Queens is in desperate need and the city is in desperate need of recreational and green spaces. But we want to ensure that any project, be it Queensway or other,
Yeah,
not preclude blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
I think people could get behind that, right?
Yeah, I think we're in the right area of how we feel. The problem is it is Queens Link or Queensway. Because they are two competing
As planned.
as
Yeah.
planned.
planned.
Yeah,
Like the ask for Queensway is to change Queensway.
right. Yeah, we are definitely saying you gotta build Queens Link if you wanna make it like, if you wanna make Queensway like.
So right, so I think we should be emphatically in support of, Queens Link. And then,
And urge, you know, that the designing of Queensway be adjusted to accommodate rail reactivation,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We are in support of.
we're having discussion for our motion, but that's okay.
Well, we're not making a motion.
No, well, we could.
We can't, we don't have a quorum.
Oh, I thought we were gonna have, you're right, okay, right. So we could have a resolution and introduce to a resolution at the next meeting,
Yes,
then have the whole board vote on
right.
Yeah, I think we're just having a discussion because the board is going to
it.
act.
No, it makes sense. That's
And
what
I'll
we can
say
do right
that
now.
present members discussed it and the feeling.
What do you think?
The vibe. Yeah.
I mean, look, M Train to Rockaway Beach.
I
That's all I
know,
gotta say, you know, come on. What
I
are we doing here?
I was out with my stepniece a couple weeks ago and she was telling me, cause she just moved to the city last year and she was saying how last summer she went like 5 times to Rockaway and she loves it so much. It was so amazing. She grew up in Chicago, so they would go to the lake and the beach and she was like, it's just so amazing. I didn't even have to leave those. I know all these friends that they leave the city and I was like, how'd you get the ferry? She goes, yeah. And I said, oh, you're so lucky. I remember being on the bus to Rockaway one year. Oh my God, it was so horrible. It was like the first stop and it was full and I had to stand the whole way and it took us so long to get there. It's just awful.
It is, yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, a friend of mine, they pay, take the LARR out to Long Beach or whatever, Long Beach is.
yeah,
And they pay to go, cause Long Beach you have to pay to get to, and
Yeah.
they're like, it's worth it.
yeah, you have to get there through a car, but then you also have to.
No,
pay
you
to go
can
on
take the
beach.
LARR.
Oh, yeah, you can,
But
but it
it's
stops right there.
$5 each way
Yeah,
per
yeah.
person, so
Yeah.
for a family, it's like $15.
And then you have to pay to go on the beach.
So,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, that was our
No,
good friend Robert Moses and who also made all the overpasses are low enough so that the buses can go under because he was racist.
So-
bastard, yeah.
It sounds like what we can say is like,
resolution?
we-
Racist.
and so it sounds like what we can say is we didn't have a quorum, unfortunately, but we had a discussion and of the people present, it was unanimous that we support.
Can we swear you in as a member?
Right, that like, there was no disagreement that we prefer the Queens Link proposal. And we would support Queensway insofar as it can accommodate rail reactivation as part of Queensland.
Sure.
And so then you can make the motion, yeah?
Who is presiding over the full board meeting?
Nelly.
Nellie's gonna do it.
Yeah.
So why don't we ask Nellie to add it to the agenda?
So which one, what now?
Our
Greenlight is gonna be there to present.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna have to vote on that anyway. Okay.
Yeah, and- yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Teresa, did you have something to add?
Yeah, so as Julie mentioned in the last meeting that we talked about this, since so much of this is not technically like in our district, we are open to supporting the project, but it's really contingent upon like discussions with other council members and just as a team. So just a reminder that our team, that Julie, you know, she's open to supporting, but like like the conversations with the other members that districts are more impacted. We need to have that conversation with them first.
Well, I appreciate that, but I would also argue that there are many other council members that have been in support of it. And I think it's the Queen's Way that is specific to a very specific district that is only maybe affecting one or two council people. But the Queen's Link goes through many different community districts. And
Yeah, no, we are
people are
connected to it via
I
the
think-
transportation systems. But I just wanted to clarify, just because we did talk about this
Yeah.
a couple of meetings back.
In
That's right.
particular, in terms of like relations with other council districts, right? Like, they need to understand that our district has very, very little park access. And this is a proposal to create a train to Forest Park and Rockaway Beach. So for residents of Julia One's district, like that represents a significant improvement to like large park access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is, we are not telling CB6 district and the council person there what to do in their district. We're saying what it will benefit and affect our community because we'll have access to transportation. And we can't look at it as just a Queensway or nothing. It's about, we're focused on Queens Link, not Queensway.
Plus, we're gonna buy like picnic lunch supplies.
Yeah.
When we go to
in the
their parks.
districts. But thank you.
Okay, well, I'll definitely be baking something for the picnic.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, the CB2 outing.
Yeah, so I think we're all on the same page. We appreciate them building a park. It's a park that nobody can use, you know, the Queensway, because there's no train going to it. A new transit line.
Only a district that already has a giant park.
Yeah, God bless them. A new transit line would be vital for our district and the rest of New York. And something not mentioned tonight is that a lot of our stations and trains are full. all the time.
Yes.
So adding more capacity for the M train, adding more trains per hour,
And the G train.
shifting, you know, opening up the possibilities for the G train. This changes things a lot, especially as one LIC got passed and you know, we're looking for more trains. Like you can't just build more train stations in Sunnyside, but you can change the way the trains move.
And let's not forget that they are proposing workspace as part of the
Yeah, no,
Queensland
yeah.
proposal, right?
That's true.
Yeah, it's not like it's
Yeah.
totally just park or train,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So.
And let's see how the rest of the city weighs in on Sunnyside Yards.
Yeah, so should
Within our
should
district.
we prepare a motion or should we prepare a resolution? Cause then we could circulate the resolution in advance so people could sit there and read it at the meeting.
Well, as former chair, what do you think?
I like that because sometimes it's very abstract when you make a motion and if people aren't very auditory focused, if they
Yeah,
think better
really
by
good idea.
reading.
Yeah.
It might be good. And I don't think it has to be complicated. It could be like 3 whereases and a resolution or.
Yeah.
I think one of you just said something that was pretty good. It might have been you refining what Maury had already said.
Yeah, you said it in like 2 seconds. Can we
Yeah.
rewind?
Yeah.
We just have to look at it like at 11:40.
My only question is procedurally, like, is it okay to distribute a proposed resolution if we didn't actually vote on it as a board?
That's why I asked.
What do you mean?
Like
You
we,
mean as our committee?
yeah, yeah, as a committee, sorry, not as a board, like, we haven't actually voted on this. So can we say like, here's what the Transpo committee
Well,
recommends?
I mean, we used to send letters without voting on them until one time, Debbie said I couldn't send a letter.
Okay.
So now I vote on everything.
Well, no, you can, but, no, but we don't have a quorum, but like we as, you as the chair of this
Yeah.
committee.
Yeah.
Could say, I'm gonna take a stab at it, and, cause we used to have floor votes, you could even just
Yeah.
introduce a motion, as long as you're recognized by the chair, you can. Robert's Rules of Order, if you're recognized by the chair and you say, I have a resolution. And I'm prepared and I made copies of them already.
Okay, great.
Cool.
So I wanna make a resolution.
If you prefer a resolution.
I'll send that by
I
Anatol.
think
Is that
anything in writing is nice.
He's away, he's out of the country.
Okay.
But but since Nellie is the acting chair.
Yeah.
In his absence, we just have to clear it with her.
Sure.
The
Or
whereas.
it's not even technically clear it with her, cause you, Robert's rules, you just have to make the motion as long as she recognizes you.
Right.
But it would be good to say, hey, I wanna do this, because then we're all on the same page and it doesn't become a
Yeah,
Robert's rule, like parliamentarian issue.
for sure. Yeah.
So the whereases are like, we desperately need additional additional transit capacity, right? Okay, that we have no access to large parks.
That was good.
Thank you very much.
And, right, we have no access to large parks or beaches. What else? Like,
Teresa, do you have something else or is the hand still up?
I'm sorry, I forgot to check my hand down.
Oh, that's all right.
A
Thank you.
multi-benefit corridor incorporating continuous or segmental greenway bike path, landscape buffers, public seating, well, that's not.
yeah, and, I think, like, it's difficult for us to reach the southern half of our own borough. Right, that's a great argument, right?
Prioritize investment in transit infrastructure while ensuring meaningful environmental recreation. Well, that could be the further was up, but, yeah. I think the big thing is like thinking about what is it that our district and other surrounding districts gain from the rail?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have,
Right over here this side.
yeah, well, I'm gonna spend it as an, like, I have like.
And I think what
we-
you said earlier, we can just we can rewind later and look
Yeah,
at it,
yeah.
but
But
Oh.
just for the whereases, right, the benefits of the project, right, like,
Well, I think we should also make sure we include that the 2019 revised MTA feasibility study found that reactivation was feasible as well as space for park.
okay,
Because I think that's where all the people are arguing that you can't have both or this or that, and MTA found yes, and at least
Okay.
according to Queensland.
all right. And I think I'm just gonna repurpose, the actual motion is like in this one. We are in support of the Queens Link vision and we request that DPR, EDC and the mayor shift plans in the Queens Way projects as not to preclude rail reactivation, given the new study data. We won't have to give them the study data, we'll just say,
Right.
here,
And I think we just, and then some of the whereas could include some of the benefits, like, reduce crowding on, surrounding, or other transportation, like bus or this or that. Oh, and then remember. This is important. 2025 NYU ridership study showed that Queens Link would have 75,000 riders a day, almost double the MTA's projection. And that was a brand new study, right?
okay, so we'll cite their study.
Yeah. You have this, right?
Yeah.
You have everything. So we can put some of that data in there.
Actually, I have to read that. About fine.
Yeah.
Wait, White House then?
It's the economy, stupid. Save 950,000 minutes each year.
But I think focusing on like, our trains are overloaded, we don't have access to high quality parks. And we're cut off from the rest of the borough.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
there's like 3 strong points, right?
Right, and our existing transportation methods are taxed and only get worse with increase in population. LIC one plan, and redevelopment that's happening, right? And there's tons of people supporting, but we don't have to go into that.
Okay, I'll try to have something together.
yeah.
Do we
please,
know
thank you.
who our council before who are supporting it in the area? They have it on,
Julie
you
won.
can't see.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, here.
So
Yeah,
Claire Valdez is, but that's not council. Kristen Gonzalez, all of our electeds are supporting it. Yeah, Kristen Gonzalez, Mike Jenner. Claire
Ariola.
Valdez.
Joanne Ariola, which I'm shocked. Holden,
Mhm.
Sylvina Brooks Powers, Tasha Williams.
All right, so I think I'm gonna move on
Yeah,
and,
okay, sorry.
no, you're good. Thank you. Osman, you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I can say that the present members of the committee, the ones who were present at this committee meeting. Formulated this, and you know, it kind of matches what we said last month.
Yeah. Sorry for that.
No, it's okay, no, I mean, yes,
Discussion.
I had more opportunity to look into Queens Way and Queens Link. In the last month, it's hard when you're like, hey, vote on this massive
Yeah.
project that stops the construction of parks.
I think it's a good reason.
What else did I have? Low traffic neighborhood request. I'll save that for when Dr. Roz is here. But
I'm a bit.
yeah, oh yeah. So in the CB2 budget requests, capital expense, we had a request for low traffic neighborhoods as part of our committee. And the response from DOT was that they support.
Oh.
So I think we just now need to figure out where we want these low traffic neighborhood requests.
How does that work?
You
What
just
is-
go, Open Plans had presented to us what a low traffic neighborhood is, which essentially think of the 39th Avenue Bike Boulevard in Sunnyside Gardens. The way that shifted traffic so far fewer outside vehicles and cut through traffic goes into that area. With just a couple more tweaks,
Yes.
it would completely cut off outside traffic, but still make accessible anybody who lives there. And the idea is with a lot of people driving, maybe more people than ever before, and Google Map apps and stuff like that. You know, instead of people taking expressways, it'll be
Yeah,
like,
they route,
hey, it would
yeah.
be 2 minutes faster to
Yeah.
go through this neighborhood, and all of a sudden, everybody goes to that
Right.
neighborhood.
And
Yeah.
what
And-
it's, what it's really
So
about.
if you just like put a park on the street or even make a turnoff lane like 50th Street diverter, you no longer have all that traffic. And then it's just like streets are safer, people can
Right.
cross crosswalks, you know,
Yeah.
kids can
Like,
play in the street maybe.
Kids can actually like
Um,
roam their own neighborhoods.
And
right?
everybody who drives a car in that neighborhood can still get in there. They might have to go around the block the way they do in Sunnyside Gardens.
Right.
You know, and like, that's okay, because the trade-off is different. The trade-off is huge, where now you don't
And you
have,
say that as someone who uses multimodal,
yeah.
multiple modes of transportation, including car, and you live in the neighborhoods.
Yeah. So, you know,
It's
being a
worth it.
pedestrian around
Yeah.
Sunnyside Gardens is so nice because you can just easily cross the street. You know,
Yeah.
you can easily just walk and there used to be tons of cars going 40 miles per hour on 39th.
I would like to sit on the south side.
Yeah, so I think we have to see
agree.
which neighborhoods would be good
Yeah.
places for it, where it would work, and then suggest it to DOT.
Okay.
I think it's worth, when we have that discussion, reiterating, like, that the data shows that like traffic fatalities per capita are the worst in our district than
Mhm.
anywhere else in the borough. And like, we're talking,
That's insane.
like, we have to do something.
Yeah.
And the proof's in the pudding, right? Like, you go on 39th Ave, you just see kids like out on their own. And that's what we want for like the whole borough, you know, the whole
But-
district.
How is our population density in CB2, the whole district from Long Island City, Maspeth, Woodside, Sunnyside? What is it compared to other parts of the borough? Do we know?
I think we're one of the densest,
I feel like it's more dense.
right?
Because
Now it's over 4 years, so I don't know how much one LIC changed, but like,
Oh,
I
well,
can- I can-
that's a lot.
I can dig into the data more. But like, I was shocked.
But this is casualties per person. and
This is like per capita fatality rate
Yeah.
over the last 4 years.
Well, there's so much, yeah, I would think that there's more density here because we have a lot more single house or two-family houses in other parts of the borough. We do, but like when you go in further deeper in, you don't have as many like
Yeah,
pre-war buildings, and now with Long Island City. I don't know the skyscrapers.
but we also have a lot more pedestrians for that reason.
I'll dig
Yeah,
into it.
You know, That's where it's mixing, you know, if The roads are not constructed to
No.
detect the
I think
pedestrian.
it has more to do with the fact that like we're a nexus for travel, like
That's true too.
through, like, just, there's so many truck routes and people are getting from like Greenpoint to Astoria, Greenpoint to Jackson Heights. Everywhere, like the only land bridge
Yeah.
to the central business
Yeah.
district is through our district, right?
Well, and you also have the entrance to the BQE and the entrance to, I think there's two entrances, to, Long Island Expressway.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
one on
the
48th
tunnel,
and then
there's the
there's
Queensboro
one,
Bridge.
there's one on Greenpoint.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, then there's the tunnel. So there's, yeah, so many of these. And then we've got Queens Boulevard and
Right.
Northern Boulevard
And consider like all of Long Island.
coming through us.
It's not just Queens.
No, yeah, and
Brooklyn,
then going back.
All of Long Island to get to the rest of America
Yeah.
comes through our district,
Yeah.
you know?
So
So,
Yeah.
I'll dig into it more. So I
Alright.
think it's very relevant in terms of why they should prioritize CB2.
What did you sign it? I didn't.
Oh, me neither.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, you got us?
Don't worry, yeah.
Okay, so one last
I
thing
got you,
before we,
Osman.
one last thing before we close,
He's just backing up, we got more to discuss.
Oh, just put my stuff away. so I
okay,
can-
sorry, yeah.
I don't wanna be
Suspicious.
distracted.
I have a couple of updates. I've had a couple of meetings. I met with the EDC on the ferry, the Hunters Point Ferry. Pretty close to what we saw previously. It's going to be in the original spot after all of that research.
Which we pushed them on.
Which, you know, okay, due diligence, like we asked them to study other spots. They did study other spots. Every other spot didn't work. The original spot worked. The only change since
How
then.
convenient.
Well, this is the thing.
What
Well,
works
this is the
except the
thing.
one we picked originally.
This is what got me in trouble at the last full board meeting, where I'm like, well, sometimes you gotta trust what the people say, because I'm not going to research whether they're telling the truth. Everything has, so when Joe says there's a utilities conflict at
Yeah.
39th Street, I'm like, okay, if you say there is, there is. But there was. So, yeah, it's all public information. If they lied about this, then that's a scandal, but I don't have the capacity to.
No, I don't think they.
I'll leave that to the
outright lied.
Chronicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only change is it's going to have, it's going to be 10 feet further away, which should mitigate any, that's as far as they can go. So if there's any noise complaints or, air quality complaints, that's a mitigation for that. It's gonna be dual gangway, meaning it is a, yeah, it's a dock out there, and so there's two gangways. In and out, and it also facilitates emergency access, better flow. There are no stairs, it's all accessible, hardly even ramps. They are, and then the major thing is they've decided that they're not going to put a shelter over it, so they don't obstruct any views. And they took photos from the green, in the area, and you can barely see it, a boat, from the area, like you barely see it. There will never be a time when boats are docked for a long time, they're coming in now. So it's really just like a boat comes in, empties out, and leaves.
I just wish it would have been closer to Queensbridge.
Oh, yeah. Maybe by it being here, there'll be a future for one in Queensbridge.
We can hope.
Somebody along the way said Queensbridge never asked for a ferry. I don't know why you guys in CBC keep asking for it.
Did anyone ask them?
I think it was like somebody in the tenants association in Queensbridge. They were like, we never asked for a ferry.
Interesting.
We asked for like, upgrades to our
Yeah.
community spaces. But anyway, I'm not saying, it's just funny.
Also, the Greenway points to Queensbridge Hub, so like, that'd be the easiest way for me to get to the ferry,
Yeah,
would be if it was up there, instead of having to go through.
yeah, the more,
Hunters Point
ferries, the
Avenue.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that is that, there were different meetings, report myself. I think that's it. For me, anybody else have any new business?
Yeah, just sharing out, oh, please.
Only I touched.
No.
No, nothing, yeah? How's the bus stop situation?
Still, one guy, he's making late, he's been parking there, he's making late, that guy, I made complaint.
And other guy still have a 2-3 minutes earlier than left the bus.
Oh,
If every day I connect, I see the thing,
you're blocking it?
266.
What happens?
This, one guy, he intentionally making late, he's parking the bus there, the time is over, then after 2-3 minutes,
Yeah.
then he's moving.
Is the bus?
Yeah, and
Why
another,
would he do that?
he's very ego, the guy is a tall guy, he's like he's a big boss.
Yeah.
And other bus driver, 3 minutes earlier, he's dispatched.
Yeah.
So he doesn't wait,
No,
and he's
yeah,
early,
yeah, early. And other guy,
so people miss the bus.
yeah,
These are MTA buses?
yeah, empty bus. Because I come, I finish my work every day, I go there,
Yeah.
every 30 minutes, they're doing this business.
That happens a lot with the B-24. They'll come early and then you miss it.
Where is this?
266.
Yeah, but what
And
intersection?
28th Street, Queen Plaza.
Oh.
Mm. We should really try to get MTA to come back, they just are so bad that never wanna come,
They
unless they
send,
want something.
they send LIRR trains out early too. It's like, it should be a scandal if they send it anything ahead of schedule.
Yeah, right?
Because in nighttime people,
Yeah.
middle class people work and go home. That's why they don't care about it. Daytime people are very official people, they know how to handle it.
Yeah.
This is the main thing.
Especially at night, right?
Yeah.
Mm, okay.
Mm.
We'll see how.
Do you guys need any help trying to get MTA? You just said that that'd be great for them to come out again, or
Yeah, they haven't been here in ages.
okay. Do you want me to initiate, or do you wanna do something and copy me on it?
Sure,
Fair.
yeah. Raphael says he'll send an email and we'll copy, you guys on it.
Yeah,
Nice to
I
go.
will. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate the help there.
Thank you.
Sometimes they do feel like, harder to contact and get responses from.
You know, it's also a good follow-up, the public comment about the Q22, what is that bus route, right? The Jackson Avenue, right? Like,
Oh.
it's an opportunity for us to follow up on that.
B62.
Yeah. Maybe like at least quarterly if they can't come.
That's right,
Yeah,
order,
more
they
often.
used to come more regularly years ago before the pandemic, but, or maybe
Mm.
pandemic, they were a little more regular,
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think so.
They would come on Zoom?
They would, yeah, maybe that's why,
Yeah.
but they could come in on Zoom.
Mhm.
They don't have to be here physically, do they?
No.
I mean, we'd like them to, but
Yeah.
if not, as long as they can come.
What? This is a silly question. Where are you guys actually physically?
Oh, come visit us sometime.
We're right by the new grocery store.
Wait. Wait. Which one's that?
You know where the old Rite Aid was on 52nd?
Oh
So
yeah.
We're on 50th Street. The CB2 office is on 50th Street.
Oh.
Right near Roosevelt.
And have a new
Alright.
car wash facilities there. They think-
Yeah, the new car wash.
Oh, that's actually like right by my son's daycare.
Oh, yeah, we're just like right near that.
Stop in the office anytime?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've been back to back like
Oh,
meetings
man.
in person, and my son is like in a riot. So I think I usually end up zooming this one because it almost always falls in the same week that I'll have like 2 or 3 in-person events. But if there is a week that like it's the only in person, I'll definitely try stopping by.
You know what else we could use help with is getting a rep from the 108 precinct out here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I can definitely talk to them too.
Well, sidewalk parking's been like every month for a year.
Illegal parking is such it is such
Okay.
a persistent issue. Like it is, I would say I almost every single day, on average, we get a
Yeah.
constituent complaining about some sort of illegal parking issue, whether it's abandoned cars, people parking in tow zones or something to do with a school bus. Like it is one of our frequent issues. And then you get something like the rider trucks or something,
Sure.
like much persistent. It's definitely a common one.
Actually, you make a good point with the rider trucks. There are so many of those rental trucks now that the delivery people are using, whether it's Amazon or other companies, they'll have these orange magnets on the back that say delivery truck. But I'm so frustrated. You see it more in Manhattan, but you're seeing it a lot more now here, where the delivery companies are using our public spaces, our streets and our
Mhm.
sidewalks for their distribution center.
Yeah,
then-
and what's particularly frustrating about the rider trucks in general is that they're not for regular like I guess use. Like nobody no you cannot even rent that size vehicle without a serious
Special
commercial license. Yeah, like and even like stages. Like this isn't like a regular U-Haul van that you could be like,
Right.
okay, somebody's gonna decide on a whim, hey, I want to go get a couch. I gotta go move suddenly that it would put like the need to have it accessible to neighborhoods because there's a situation where somebody will walk to a U-Haul, pick up a van, go move their couch, go do whatever they're gonna do, and then bring it back and then like walk home. I cannot, and I don't know if you guys can imagine a situation where somebody wakes up and they're like, you know what I need today? I need like a 16 wheeler to transport like whatever cubic tons of some material like that, and it's never going to be for like a personal use. And nobody's just going to be walking to the truck. Like, I don't know. I'm not even sure why all these vehicles need to be where we're located, because if you're coordinating a massive delivery, the to and the from those ends need to sync up. You can't just arrive to a destination with
It's cheaper for
whatever.
them because they make their warehouse our public streets instead of having more warehouse space.
Well,
No, and that's the that's what's trickling down is that
Right.
these large commercial international companies are using public streets as their parking lots, and these people do have the money to be able to make real estate investments, and then those small businesses are getting pushed out to the spaces that they could be parking in, and then they're parking in the residential areas, and that's where the people will be like, oh, the food trucks, the taxi cabs, the dry cleaners are parking here, and that's what the residents feel because they're getting pushed out by the smaller commercial trucks. But it's starting at the top with these gigantic trucks that are taking up such a large portion of the street.
Well, I think what's really problematic, right, is like that it's become a business model. Like I've struggled with, CVS trucks parking in the bike lane on Queens Boulevard.
Yep.
They know that by the time, I threw in one and the cops show up, they're gonna be gone. And I've had them tell me to my face, like, there's nothing you can do. It's like a thing that a professional driver told me, like, I'm allowed to do this and you can screw off.
Yeah.
And
That
it's like, we need to figure out something.
Maybe we need to write a letter about that, because to me, it's ludicrous that these companies, whether it's Amazon or an unknown company
Yeah.
that contracted out by some of these folks, where they're using the streets to do their staging and picking and distribution, which should be done in a warehouse. I actually saw one just like a half a block from my apartment last week, videotaped it. I'm aging myself.
Word on Betamax.
No, Super 8.
Yeah.
No, I pulled out my phone and started because I saw all this exhaust coming out and the car was just sitting there. So then I took a video of it because I'm like, they're just idling. And then I went to the front. There was no one in it.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have packages out. So they literally took a box or boxes, locked up their vehicle, left it on.
You could have gotten a catch out. Come on, man.
I know, but I don't know how to
You
do
for
that.
No, that's pretty terrible. And these large national, international corporations have the means and the staff and the infrastructure at their central offices to properly train these people. I'm much more not that I want anybody to do illegal parking, but I'm much more sympathetic to small businesses that don't have the resources that these large companies do in order to purchase warehouses and parking.
The small
Um,
Scale.
But the small businesses do van unloading on the sidewalks too. They're all complicit. It's just
yeah, they're all, and I feel like the large corporations are actually setting a bad standard for the small businesses, because if you're a small business and you watch CVS or this large national corporation doing something on the street, either you don't realize that you're copying them. You're going, oh well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? Either they know or they don't know that it's wrong.
Well, maybe we need to, have legislation introduced to the city council that stops this.
It's already illegal. What do you?
No, but like,
We're gonna make it super
No.
illegal.
no, but there needs to be a way to address the staging and distribution. Like, I feel like they were almost permitting it. I wonder if there's laws that are
I
allowing.
think, the mayor just announced a new office of curb management. So we can write.
I mean, honestly, like a special escalating fine for a business that frequently gets reports,
Yeah.
that would change the game, right? Like if like that CVS on Queens Boulevard, if they get it reported over and over and over again, like, you know, they're,
But I think that's a huge problem, and I think that's important to address, because you have these specific places like the chains. But then on top of that, you have these folks that are like maybe distributing for Amazon, or there's like the, I forgot the ship something, I forgot what the name of the company is. But, you know, they're actually, you know, they got 8 different personnel at the truck, all doing staging and move, and they all have their own carts and boxes.
I think in the future of delivery management, it is a part of it. I remember when New York Magazine maybe did like the ideal street, the ideal Manhattan street, it did have an area for distributing from a large truck to smaller bicycles and stuff.
If it's planned,
Yeah,
there's a location for it and it's not obstructing
and they're not idling
and they're not idling.
Yeah.
And they're not taking up half the street or half the lanes, which makes it dangerous for
Yeah.
everybody. I understand that, but right now it's not even organized chaos, it's just chaos.
Yeah, it's because every spot is a free parking spot.
Yeah.
You know, it's like anybody can park here rather than having loading zones and.
I mean,
You know.
in theory, I would prefer if they came up with these small areas and then you had fewer cars running around the whole city.
Yeah.
So if you just had these places where they offload, get out, and then do local small, using alternative transportation that's not necessarily, you know,
EDC is working on that. Are they clean deliveries? Yeah, like with e-bikes stuff.
I remember we talked to one, an environmental committee ages ago, we talked about, like, is there ways to use the waterways better?
Yeah, no, they're doing it. It's called Blue Highways. It's in process.
Oh, it's a while to get there.
All that's to say, if you can help us get the 108.
Yes.
Yeah, so do you want me to initiate that email too, or do you want to send it to me and then I'll volley the request?
What do you want, yeah, whatever you guys
Yeah,
said.
maybe you can come out from
Yeah.
us and then you can
Yeah,
escalate.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
We'll write a letter. I'll write.
Okay.
A letter. Yeah. I'll write an email.
We'll write an email and copy you.
Copy.
Yeah,
I think you
that's
have-
perfect.
I think you have one of my escalated emails about them like illegally closing 311 complaints about their own
I'll do the
parking, so.
Uh,
If you wanna do that and escalate it again, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, it's they do it to us too. But yeah, and another thing with the big corporations is that they're outsourcing a lot of these kind of these deliveries
Yeah.
to these like smaller companies and
Yeah.
and it really puts and I do feel for the individual drivers and the people that are doing the hard work because they're really being pushed by their management to execute something that, you know, it's they're creating unsafe conditions and they're passing on the responsibility and the what word am I looking for? They're passing on the responsibility and also like just like the ownership of the wrongdoing onto the individuals versus like the corporations themselves. Like they're passing it along so that, you know, if it's the drivers or the small company that they're outsourcing it to, they're the ones that are getting hit financially and they'll just, you know, let those people go, you know, out of business without taking accountability for them as the larger corporation and setting those expectations and those standards.
Agreed.
All right. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I don't know anybody who's in on the same page on this. You know, either side of the aisle, like everybody hates the illegal parking.
Yeah. I mean, tell it to drivers.
I've got another
Yeah.
piece of new business. If I may.
I don't.
You may, one final thing, for next time when we have a quorum, so in my meeting with Sunnyside Community Services. Right, and then, and DOT and stuff, I promised that we would talk as a committee about making a capital ask. For the 39th Street bus stop to remain on the sign that it's on, which would require capital funding to change the utilities.
Oh,
So that was my solution, since we can't keep that bus stop where it is because we're building a boarding island. It's going to get moved. That's where DOT is right now and MTA. They all want that. It's very, very beneficial to have a bus boarding island, even if it's not great for constituents of Sunnyside Community Services. But if we could just move it back with capital funding,
oh, further back.
or just back to the side of the street that it's currently on.
But I thought you were saying they can't do that. They don't
They
want.
can't do that because
So,
there's utilities. But if we request capital funding, it could be a 10-year
To
project
relocate their utility.
to build a bus boarding island on top of the utility, which would mean to extend the manhole or move the manhole.
so then that means like down the road, it could be moved. It might move now, but then they'll move it back.
Right, rather than like throwing our hands in the air and saying, well, there's nothing we could do, there is something we could do, we could ask for
It's a longer
capital project.
I'm also curious how Sunnyside Community Services responded to DOT sharing like, hey, we can't. We can't immediately move it back, but like what you're getting is this curb extension that's gonna be rolled out within the year. And like shortened crossing, we're doing all these safety treatments. Like, I'm curious to hear from them, like, how they feel about that. Do they feel like they're getting, like pushed under the rug, or do they feel like their needs were taken seriously? Like, where are they at?
They heard it. They are in charge of an organization speaking for the people who use the organization, and
Yeah.
those people are the ones who are continuing to raise their voices, so they can't just say, okay, that's fine. They have to continue to advocate. And again, I think, it sounded skeptical that fixing the crosswalk would solve everything.
And I'm just wondering, like, sounds like a pretty expensive capital project. I'm thinking maybe those funds could be better spent elsewhere.
I think,
I don't know.
I think what's going to happen is it's going to move. We're all gonna find out how that is. I think one of the main problems with the way the streets are designed is streets may be working, but you don't know who's not using them.
Mhm.
Just like with bicycles,
Right.
you don't know who's not riding a bike. You only see the people who said, you know what, I think I could do it. I think I'm brave enough to ride a bike in the city, but I know lots of people who are too smart, who won't ride a bike. So who's not going to Sunnyside Community Services because it's too dangerous to cross the road there?
I do just want to reemphasize, I know I'm being like the villain here, but like when they go home, they have to cross Queens Boulevard.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's on the east side of 39th Street again, the eastbound bus is on the far side of Queens Boulevard. So like,
Yeah.
they're
My hope is that
people crossing the street.
something is happening that we can't prevent from happening. And it's going to make a lot of situations better. I hope that with our advocacy for making it a safer crossing, and we may have to continue because it's, it's improved, but not all the way. Like, I don't know. I asked them if there would be an LPI, if there would be a red light camera. My hope is that it all just works. And everybody's like, actually, it's fine.
Right.
Crossing this street is the same as crossing Queens Boulevard. Everything's cool.
How soon would they, when they move everything, what's the timeline for it being completed as they wanted?
I think they want to move very quickly. I think there's already signs for the what's happening here signs.
Yeah, I was
So
shocked.
what does the timeline mean, like 6 months, 3 months,
No, I think it's gonna happen as soon as
like very quick?
they can, yes.
So what's the harm with, before we like say, let's do keep it on our oven, on our stove, on our cooktop.
On our induction.
We
so-
put it on our induction cooktop. So keep it in the microwave. Basically, that we could ask for this capital project, but maybe it's done and June comes, July comes, and maybe it's not as bad as we thought, and maybe people are okay with it, and with the, like, maybe we got, maybe, I mean, it's not ideal, because it's not what we asked for, it's not what the community asked for, it's not what Sunnyside Community Service asked for. But does it make sense to assess after a quarter or two what happened? I mean,
Yeah, I think, just for my position,
Yeah.
a lot of the board wants the bus stop to stay in the place that it is. And it may be on us to, like, the hard part is communicating DOT's plans and MTA's plans to the board and to 77 Community Services, when I don't know everything that's going on.
Right.
We didn't know
I
about the
guess-
utilities until
No.
last month.
I guess it'll be helpful just to know what the price tag of the capital project is estimated to be, that we
Yeah.
know what we're asking for, and that's like the next step in this process.
Yeah,
right?
I don't imagine it would be a lot. It's the.
$400 million. Wait, how much?
I
does
mean,
it cost
to
to make
relocate
This
them
is,
to our
this is
thing?
the bus boarding island, and this is the manhole.
But there's a lot of
So-
utilities in there, right? Or they, oh, just the access.
It's just, yeah, the bus boarding island has to be
Oh,
a
so maybe
certain
it'll be
length.
just 200,000.
Yeah, it has to be a certain length, and it happens to be on top of a manhole. So they
Oh.
have to move that manhole or put it right here
Oh, like in the bus.
in the
boarding.
bus boarding.
Oh,
Yeah,
I retract my earlier statement.
You thought they were gonna have to.
I was like thinking
that's
there was
what I
like
thought.
a sewer
That's what I
capital
thought.
project.
No, I thought like, yeah, I thought they were gonna have to move all the utilities.
Yeah.
Not just the access.
so that's why, like,
I'm
just
like,
trying to
yeah.
find the clarity on this.
I'm
on
locked
why-
back in.
On why it had to move, because it really looked
Yeah.
to me like they just wanted it to be equidistant between other bus stops, and that was the right spot, but no, this is it, and we find out.
Very cool.
We don't often hear from our community at these meetings, but we are definitely hearing from them on this issue, so I want to make sure that we are
Appreciate it.
fighting for them. But again, it would
I
be a
agree.
long project. My hope is that it works out the way it is right now, and if they retract and go, you know what, actually, it's fun.
But it's also not like what you and I, Corey and I were thinking it was, so it might be. A capital project is like not that crazy of an ask.
Yeah.
If we add it to our.
And they could always say, actually, we're not gonna do that, but at least we're asking.
Yeah,
and
okay, fair.
Pushing, yeah,
And trying, right?
yeah. So for next month when we have a quorum,
Okay.
Cool.
I'll raise it again. All right, I think we're done. Thank you. You wanna say something?
Yeah, just super quick, I wanted to just raise awareness, a group called the Mujeres en Movimiento, are working with 34th Ave Open Streets and Transportation Alternatives to do a Learn to Bike event in Spanish.
Wow.
That's April 19th. There's like, I sent the flyer to the Q102 email and to you. I was thought maybe we could distribute it at the board meeting.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Let people know, like, I don't think there's so many resources nowadays, like in Spanish for people to learn how to ride bikes.
Is it
So-
for adults and youth?
It's for adults. I don't know about kids. I'm sure it's probably fine for kids. But like, you don't need your own bike.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's by and for women.
Um,
Yeah, and it's like, there's a 1 PM class to just like introductory, and there's a 2 PM class for like learning how to be a marshal for group rides. So like, you know, it could be cool. It's 34th Ave and 93rd Street.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
so out of our district, but I think there's people in our district.
No,
that
that's,
would
that
like
could
that.
take, yeah, that's wonderful.
Talking about bike related events, just FYI, we are partnering with DOT again to do helmets for
that's
kids and everyone. It's going to be in June. I'm waiting for them to send us the finalized flyer, and when we get it, if I'll be sure to distribute it to get you guys if DOT doesn't do it themselves.
I'll get it distributed in my building.
Nice, that's awesome. A quick question, Teresa, for, any plans for a rain barrel giveaway?
So, oh gosh, somebody, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're still doing the rain barrels. There was something rain related that I think that they've discontinued the event, but I don't know if it was specifically rain barrels. We don't have anything being coordinated right now. And I'll have to check if it's the rain barrels that they haven't done it, or like they're we don't have anything in the works for that right now.
Okay, all right, thank you. Great, all right, well, everybody left.
Motion to adjourn.
Second the motion, all in favor?
Unanimous.
Okay.
All right, good night, guys.
Thank you very much, thanks to all, and to new members, to Bill, Murray, we'll see you on Thursday, and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me, guys. Interesting meeting.
Yeah,
They always are.
we try to keep it short, but sometimes we have a lot to talk about. Other committee meetings are shorter, but if you like the action, here we are.
Yeah, it's a lot to learn.
All right,
I'll
thank
see you
you.
Thursday.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. See you then.
Good night, everyone.
Right.
All right, thank you, Raphael.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, go ahead.
Great job, Rafael.
Thanks so much. I'll have those copies ready on Thursday.
Awesome. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, please,
We didn't discuss the.
Thank you, Steve.